in this room. നമ്മൾ ടി വി കാണുമ്പോൾ മാച്ച് കാണുമ്പോൾ പരസ്യങ്ങൾ കാത്തിരിക്കാൻ കാരണക്കാരനായ ഒരു മനുഷ്യൻ. ഇനി ആ പരസ്യം എന്ന് വരും, എപ്പോൾ വരും എന്ന് നമ്മൾ ആലോചിക്കാൻ കാരണക്കാരനായ ഒരു ലെജൻഡ്. Ladies and gentlemen, we are gathered here in this room, in this hall, in memory of the greatest of all time in the Indian advertising industry. So I would even want to call this day as the Piyush Day, not just a Friday. Good evening, namaskaram. And the Rafi, RJ Rafi. I'm truly honored to be one of your hosts this evening. ഇവിടെ നിൽക്കുമ്പോൾ എൻ്റെ മനസ്സിൽ വരുന്ന ഒരു സിമ്പിൾ ബട്ട് പവർഫുൾ വിഷ്വൽ ഏതാണെന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ, നേരത്തെ വീഡിയോസ് പ്ലേ ആയപ്പോൾ നിങ്ങൾ കണ്ടിട്ടുണ്ടാവും. രാജസ്ഥാൻ മരുഭൂമി കൂടെ ഒരാൾ യാത്ര ചെയ്യുന്നു. അയാളുടെ ഏരിയൽ ഷോട്ടാണ് ആദ്യം കാണുന്നത്. ക്യാമറ പാൻ ആകുമ്പോൾ നമുക്ക് മനസ്സിലാവും അയാളുടെ സൈഡിൽ 2-3 പേര് ഇരുന്ന് യാത്ര ചെയ്യുന്നുണ്ട്. ഒന്നും കൂടി ക്യാമറ പാൻ ആകുമ്പോൾ ഒരുപാട് പേര് ഇരുന്ന് യാത്ര ചെയ്യുന്ന, ഒരു കുലുങ്ങി യാത്ര ചെയ്യുന്ന ഒരു ഷോട്ടാണ്. ഇതൊരു ഒട്ടകത്തിന്റെ പുറത്താണ് യാത്ര ചെയ്യുന്നത് നമ്മൾ ആദ്യം വിചാരിക്കും, പിന്നാണ് മനസ്സിലാവുന്നത് ഇത് രാജസ്ഥാൻ മരുഭൂമി കൂടെ പോകുന്ന ഒരു ചെറിയ വില്ലേജ് ബസ്സിലാണ് ഇവർ പോയിക്കൊണ്ടിരിക്കുന്നത്. ക്യാമറ സൈഡ് വ്യൂ, ഒരുപാട് പേര് ബസ്സിന്റെ സൈഡിൽ തൂങ്ങി യാത്ര ചെയ്യുന്നു. ബസ്സിന്റെ അകത്ത് നിറച്ച ആളുകൾ, ഫ്രണ്ടില് ഡ്രൈവിംഗ് സീറ്റില് ഡ്രൈവറിന്റെ അടുത്ത് ഒരുപാട് പേര് നിന്ന് യാത്ര ചെയ്യുന്നു. കാല് കുത്താൻ സ്ഥലമില്ല, കോഴിയുണ്ട്, കൊട്ടയുണ്ട്. ഒരു പ്രത്യേക താളത്തിൽ ഈ ബസ് ഇങ്ങനെ മുന്നോട്ട് പോയിക്കൊണ്ടിരിക്കുന്നു. ഫ്രണ്ട് വ്യൂ, സൈഡ് വ്യൂ, ഏരിയൽ വ്യൂ, and comes the back view, and comes the iconic live Fevicol Kajod. That is magic of Piyush sir, magic of Piyush Pandey. That is why Piyush sir is never out. His jod will never break with us. Wherever he goes, his storytelling will always follow us. आप में कुछ खास है sir. The Dairy Milk moment wasn't just a dance on the cricket field. It was a dance in the heart of every Indian. So ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Piyush Pandey Not Out. We are here not just to remember the father of Indian advertising, but to celebrate him, to learn and to honor the legend who shaped Indian advertising with storytelling, emotions, humor, and the soul of Indian culture. Piyush Not Out is jointly organized by 4 institutions that represent the creative advertising and management communities in Kerala, and is hosted by this wonderful institution, SCMS School of Business. നമുക്ക് ഇവരെ അറിയാം, but here is a little brief about what they do. Indian Ad Filmmakers Association, IAB, a collective of ad filmmakers across the country supporting the craft, the people, and the ecosystem of commercial filmmaking. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Mr. Sijoy Varghese, President of IAM, onto the stage with a huge round of applause. Now, Kerala Advertising Agencies Association, K3A, the official body representing advertising agencies in Kerala, creating dialogues, guidelines, training, and unity within the industry. May I request Mr. Raju Menon, State President of K3A, to join us on stage. Now, Kerala Management Association, KMA. KMA is Kerala's oldest and most respected management forum, working to build leadership, strategy, and business excellence across sectors. Let's welcome Mr. K. Harikumar, President of KMA, onto the stage. Now, Pepper Trust. We all love holding this trophy. The organization behind the Pepper Creative Awards, championing creativity, young talent, and the future of Indian communication. May I welcome Mr. K. Venugopal, Chairman of Pepper Trust, onto the stage. Now, SCMS for providing this wonderful venue. May I invite Mr. Pramod Tevanur, Vice Chairman of SCMS, to join us on stage. Thank you, everyone. Now, before we begin, I would like to welcome our very special speakers to the stage as well. They will be welcomed and they will be introduced by my friend Francis, not now. So please join us on stage. Prakash Verma sir and everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, with a big round of applause. So we begin with a 1-minute silent prayer. So I would like to request everyone to rise as we observe a 1-minute silent prayer in honor of Mr. Piyush Pandey. And can we have the AV, please? AV1. Thank you, everyone. May I request Sijoy Varghese to stay back and everyone else to please be seated. Okay. So, I'll be calling every one of you to stage once again for a photograph. To formally open the evening, may I invite Mr. Sijoy Varghese, who is already in the stage. Indian Ad Filmmaker Association President ആണ് അദ്ദേഹം നമ്മളോട് സംസാരിക്കുന്നതായിരിക്കും ആസ് എ വെൽക്കം അഡ്രസ്.
Good evening all. Before I start or before we start, I'll play a small video. Please have a look.
माइक ऑन है मैं साउंड ओके यू नो पीपल डोंट वॉच एड्स दे लिसन टू स्टोरीज इफ योर लाइन और डिजाइन और कैंपेन मेक समवन फील समथिंग स्माइल पॉज रिमेंबर यू ऑलरेडी वन आई ऑलवेज टेल माई टीम स्टार्ट विद द हार्ट द हेड विल कैच अप A headline isn't good because it sounds smart. It's good because it feels honest. Another thing is about humor. Humor isn't about being clever. It's about making someone's day lighter. If you can't make them smile, you can't make them buy. Ideas don't come from boardrooms. They never do. They come from life, from people, from listening, from conversations. And finally, never forget, consumers are always smarter than you think. Well, that's the whole game. Tell a story that feels true, and the rest takes care of itself. From where I am now, I'm watching all you guys scribble, sweat, and dream. I'll admit it. I'll miss all the madness. I'll miss you guys a little more.
അതാണ് ഞങ്ങളുടെ അവസ്ഥ. ഞങ്ങളും അദ്ദേഹത്തിൻ്റെ കൂടെ യാത്രയായിക്കൊണ്ടിരിക്കുകയാണ്. Myself, I am Sijoy Varghese, President, Indian Ad Filmmakers Association. Along with our association, Kerala Advertising Agency Association, K3A, Kerala Management Association, KMA, Creative Pepper Award Trust, SCMS College. ഒരുപാട് നന്ദി ഈ ഒരു വലിയ എഫേർട്ടിന്. ഇവരെ ഇത്രയും നല്ലൊരു സദസ്സിനെ ഒരുമിച്ച് കൂട്ടുവാനായിട്ട് SCMSൻ്റെ സഹകരണത്തോടുകൂടി ഞങ്ങൾക്ക് വരാൻ സാധിച്ചതിന് ഓർത്തു. So when Piyush ji left us on the day, our ex-president Jabbar informed in the executive committee group that we should hold a commemoration event or a tribute event at the earliest, because we are all grown up seeing Piyush ji's advertisements, and ഞങ്ങളിൽ പലരും ആഡ് ഫിലിം മേക്കേഴ്സായിട്ട് ഇന്നും നിലനിൽക്കുന്നതിൻ്റെ one of the main reason അദ്ദേഹത്തിൻ്റെ യാത്രയിൽ നമ്മൾ സന്തോഷിക്കുകയാണ്. സത്യത്തിൽ പറഞ്ഞാൽ കേരളത്തിലെ ഇന്ത്യൻ ആഡ് ഫിലിം മേക്കേഴ്സിൻ്റെ കേരള ഘടകമാണ് ഞങ്ങൾ. ഇങ്ങനെ ഒരു ആവശ്യം പറഞ്ഞ് ഞാൻ ഓർഗനൈസേഷൻസിനെയൊക്കെ വിളിച്ചപ്പോൾ എല്ലാവർക്കും ഭയങ്കര സപ്പോർട്ട്. I immediately called my dear friend Prakash Verma. He said, anytime Sujoy, anytime. You decide a date, ഞാൻ ഉറപ്പായിട്ടും വരാമെന്ന് പറഞ്ഞു. ആ ഒരു സ്നേഹം, അൺഫോർച്ചുനേറ്റ്ലി സ്നേഹ couldn't join us. സ്നേഹയ്ക്കും വരണമെന്ന് ഒരുപാട് നല്ല ആഗ്രഹം ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു. Then I contacted Rajiv, Kiran, Prakash sir, Suresh sir, everyone. അങ്ങനെ ഒരു വലിയ സപ്പോർട്ടോടു കൂടി നമ്മളൊരു വലിയ ആദരവ് അദ്ദേഹത്തിന് നമ്മൾ നർപ്പിക്കുകയാണ്. സോ ഇന്നേ വേദിയിലേക്ക് വന്നിരിക്കുന്ന എല്ലാവരെയും സ്നേഹപൂർവ്വം ഞാൻ സ്വാഗതം ചെയ്യാണ്. അവർ ഡിസ്റ്റിംഗ്വിഷ്ഡ് സ്പീക്കേഴ്സ് ആൻഡ് ഓൾ ദ ഡെലിഗേറ്റ്സ് ടു ദിസ് വണ്ടർഫുൾ ട്രിബ്യൂട്ട് ഇവൻറ്റ്. ആൻഡ് Piyush ji, wherever you are in the innings of Indian advertising. You are always there, you will remain as a captain in our mind, and like a captain, he is always not out. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sujoy sir. Now we have a very special tribute video for the captain, like he said. Piyush Pandey sir nu vendittu, let's have the tribute video AV.
Laughing person who loves people. So everything in life, there is something to learn from. Don't think कि वो मेरा टाइम वेस्ट हो गया. मेरा टाइम बिल्कुल वेस्ट नहीं हुआ. How can you control your emotions? How can you plan to control कि आज तुम्हें बिल्कुल भी एक आंसू भी नहीं निकलेगी. Why, if you don't get an answer, you will get one international award or what? Wow, what control.
He made advertising human. Like a conversation you never forget. Simple, honest, and Indian.
So travel in unreserved second class, third class compartments for 48 hours, sometimes from Delhi to Chennai to Bangalore to Mysore city, over 40 hours. But that's where you were seeing India. That's where you're seeing people. That's where you were meeting people. That's where somebody gave you a paratha rolled up to say, beta ye khaoge. That's where you saw families talking to each other. That's where I learned advertising. Udo, aa gaya idea.
He understood people. Bus conductors, drivers, all common man, and school kids. They were all part of his world.
Piyush?
Actually, he's getting his award from my life. Where is my award?
Idea come from me.
All funny ideas come from us.
My idea.
This idea is mine.
Idea me.
All ideas.
Idea is mine. Idea is mera.
This is my idea.
I am idea.
We are the idea.
I think the biggest secret is have a great idea.
He made an industrial product a household one.
लड़का कलेक्टर बनेलू, सोफा पे रख जीन चमड़ा चढ़ेलू. देखी देश के बाहर की शादी, अब कोई ब्याह कराए या न कराए, हाय जो दिल से बनाए.
He made products into brands and brands into feelings we carry. He could look at the most ordinary product and see a story.
कुछ बात है हम सभी में, बात है खास है, कुछ स्वाद है, क्या स्वाद है.
कहते हैं ना ये एक दूसरे को कुछ न कुछ देते हैं.
अब इस उम्र में कहाँ पहनूंगी हीरा.
अरे हीरे को क्या पता तुम्हारी उम्र. यूसुफ वो यूसुफ मेरे बल्लू
लोहे के साथ लोहे के साथ निकल कुक्कल मल्ली पुट्ट मल्ली पुट्ट ओंगोल नट गोल ओंगोल गोरेगांव यहाँ से वहाँ से यहाँ से वहाँ से यहाँ.
உங்களுக்கு உங்கள் இல்லங்களை ஏசியன் பெயிண்ட்ஸால் வண்ணமயமாக்குங்கள்.
भाई साहब आप बैठ जाओ. नहीं आप
भाई दवाई दे देना इनको.
कहाँ गया?
और स्टोरीज एक बार शुरू हो जाएं तो बस.
Cricket wasn't his passion alone. It was his metaphor for life. Teamwork, instinct, joy, and believing that every ball can be hit for 4 if you dare to swing.
When you go into bat, don't think too much about the wicket. Otherwise, you will be half out before you start batting. So to the youngsters, I'm saying, if you feel like batting, bat. Don't be scared.
That's a terrific shot. Just weight forward over the ball. Nothing extravagant about it, just effective.
This is the masterpiece. The master in full flow. Fourth boundary already. And what a player he is. And he's placed with the gap this time. This outfield is quick. It's in the air. Oh, he almost reached it. What a catch that would have been.
Extraordinary timing. What a shot. Beautiful. Fantastic play from an amazing player.
मेरी मदर का यही दुख था कि काश ये तुमने अपने पिताजी के होते हुए लिखा होता, तो अपने दोस्तों के पास जाते.
करेक्ट.
बोली ये मेरे बेटे ने लिखा है.
He told us it's okay to feel, to laugh loudly, to cry freely, to let the child inside you guide the storyteller you become. He didn't just make ads. He made memories.
The work that stands out is the work that stands out. The work that surprises you when you're walking the streets, the work that surprises you when you open the newspaper. I don't think there are formulas. You will still have to touch their hearts.
The best ideas are the ideas that come to you as a child. So never ignore the child.
Some people retire, some step back, but some, they remain because they've touched you, touched your heart.
A small bus in the village, ഒരു ചായക്കട, ഒരു ബാർബർ ഷോപ്പ്, ഒരു ക്രിക്കറ്റ് മാച്ച്, all transformed into a greatest advertisements, greatest storytelling advertisements in the history of Indian advertising. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we are privileged to have a panel of extremely distinguished speakers this evening. To invite them, to introduce them, to take the conversation forward, I would like to invite one of our own, Francis Thomas, Group Creative Director at Maitri Advertising, to take over the mic. Francis began his career at the age of 21 at Ogilvy, Mumbai. By 25, he had been featured in Brand Equity's hottest young creatives, delegated to an Ogilvy hothouse in Kuala Lumpur, won Ogilvy V. Mahesh's Young Creative of the Year award, and represented India at the Cannes Lions Festival in France. He also created Ogilvy's earliest viral film and possibly India's first viral advertisement. നമ്മൾ കണ്ടിട്ടുണ്ടാവും Seatbelt Crew. In 2017, he moved to Kochi for love, got married, and he has been with Maitri ever since. Seatbelt Crew ശ്രദ്ധിച്ച് കണ്ടാൽ അറിയാം ഫ്രാൻസിസ് കൊച്ചിയിലേക്ക് വരാൻ കാരണമായ ഫ്രാൻസിസിൻ്റെ ലവ് അതിൽ ഒളിഞ്ഞിരിക്കുന്നുണ്ട്. We can see Shruti in the video. So ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Francis Thomas. Over to you.
I'm not the main event here today. First person I invite is someone you guys will all know already by face. But I think we'll do a little video to introduce him because I think that's a better way to introduce someone like him. So can we have...
When Piyush Pandey's instinct and Prakash Varma's craft met, it redefined how India smiled at its screens. They turned Madhya Pradesh into a feeling. And with Incredible India, they made the world listen to the heartbeat of a country. And in the stories he crafted on his own, Prakash showed the world a signature only he could write. Together, their work traveled continents, inspiring an entire generation of filmmakers. In remembrance of Piyush Pandey, we have Prakash Varma.
Prakash, if you could join me on stage.
ചോദ്യം ചോദിച്ച് പിടിക്കോ? ചോദ്യം ചോദിച്ച് പിടിക്കുമോ?
Start off by saying, when we spoke earlier, you said that you'd like to speak in Malayalam as much as possible today. So, what is the connection between that and Piyush?
Malayalam and Piyush? No, I thought of just talking in Malayalam because I love to talk in Malayalam, and I'm back in my place, and I think it's a better feeling. But Piyush, I think he loved Malayalam. You know why? Because every time, whenever that he gets an idea, not specifically for a brand or maybe for a brief, he writes ideas, or sometimes he writes poetry. And I have no idea. Later stage I figured, he'll call me at 5 in the morning, and then he'll, like deep Hindi poetry, yeah? And then after saying that, I have no idea why I'm saying this, because I'll have to translate the whole thing in English or in Malayalam. So I think somewhere there is a kind of connect which happened. So fortunate. Yeah, he loves the state, and I've been here many a times with him. Yeah.
So, tell me, how did a Malayali boy from Alleppey end up directing so many of India's most iconic advertisements with Piyush?
I think he's very good at spotting talents. No, I think, see, life is such, right? And എൻ്റെ ജീവിതത്തിൽ ഞാൻ തിരിഞ്ഞ് നോക്കിക്കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ many a times നമുക്ക് ആഗ്രഹങ്ങളുണ്ടാവുമല്ലോ പല സമയത്തും. വളരെ ഏർലി സ്റ്റേജ്, ഐ തിങ്ക് ഇൻ മൈ ലൈഫ് അറൗണ്ട് 97, 98, ഞാൻ IF അവാർഡിനൊക്കെ ഞാൻ ബോംബെയിൽ പോകുമ്പം ജസ്റ്റ് സ്റ്റാർട്ടഡ് അഡ്വർടൈസിങ് ആസ് എൻ അസിസ്റ്റൻറ്റ്. വളരെ ദൂരെ നിന്ന് സ്റ്റേജിൽ ഞാൻ പീയൂഷിനെ കണ്ടിട്ട് ഞാൻ പലപ്പോഴും ചിന്തിച്ചിട്ടുണ്ട്, വിൽ ഐ ബി ഏബിൾ ടു മീറ്റ് ഹിം വൺ ഡേ? ഏതെങ്കിലും ഒരു സമയത്ത് എനിക്ക് അറ്റ്ലീസ്റ്റ് ഒരു 5 മിനിറ്റ് കോൺവെർസേഷൻ എൻ്റെ ജീവിതത്തിൽ എനിക്ക് നടക്കുമോ എന്നൊക്കെ നമ്മൾ ഞാൻ ചിന്തിച്ചിട്ടുണ്ട് വളരെ ഡീപ്പായിട്ട്. ലേറ്റസ്റ്റ് സ്റ്റേജ്, ഇൻ ഫാക്ട്, ക്യാൻ യു ബിലീവ്, ഐ was so close to him, and I was actually part of his inner circle. And that means also very close to the entire family. So we, Piyush, Prasoon, me, Raji, we all have a group called Rishte. And we connect every day, even if we are not talking. So, നമ്മൾ ചില കാര്യങ്ങൾ നമ്മൾ വളരെയധികം മനസ്സറിഞ്ഞ് ആഗ്രഹിച്ചാൽ, I think it happens. Now, similar thing with whether it's, നമ്മുടെ ലാലേട്ടൻ്റെ കാര്യമാണെങ്കിലും ഒക്കെ, ഇവരൊക്കെ എൻ്റെ ചെറുപ്പത്തിൽ എനിക്ക് എപ്പോഴെങ്കിലും ഇവരുമായിട്ടൊക്കെ സമയം സ്പെൻഡ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുമോ എന്ന് വളരെ ഡീപ്പായിട്ട് ആഗ്രഹിച്ച് അതൊക്കെ സംഭവിച്ചിട്ടുണ്ട്. ആൻഡ് ദേ ഓൾ ഇൻ ഫാക്ട് അങ്ങനത്തെ സിറ്റുവേഷൻ നമ്മളുമായിട്ട് വളരെ ഇന്നർ സർക്കിളിൽ അടുത്ത് പെരുമാറുക എന്ന് പറയുന്നതൊക്കെ ഭാഗ്യം ശരിക്കും. ഐ തിങ്ക് ജസ്റ്റ് ഡീപ്പായിട്ട് നമ്മൾ ആഗ്രഹിക്കുമ്പോൾ എനിക്ക് സാധിച്ചിട്ടുണ്ട് പല കാര്യങ്ങളും. ഇപ്പോൾ ഈ 2 പേരുകൾ പറഞ്ഞത് മാത്രമല്ല, പലതും ജീവിതത്തിൽ. ഐ തിങ്ക് നമ്മൾ ട്രൂ ആയിട്ടൊരു കാര്യം ശരിക്കും വിശ്വസിച്ച്, ഐ തിങ്ക് ഇഫ് യു ബിലീവ് ഇൻ ഇറ്റ്, ഐ തിങ്ക് ഇറ്റ് വിൽ ഹാപ്പൻ. യാ,
താങ്ക് യു.
അതാണോ എന്നറിയില്ല ചോദ്യത്തിൻ്റെ ഉത്തരം, അതാണോ?
I was looking for, like, your journey from Alleppey to
that incredible. Again, if you have the time, ഞാൻ പീയൂഷും പ്രസൂണും ഷൂട്ട് ചെയ്യുന്ന Foursquare, I think it was a commercial with, again, a close friend of mine, Mahesh Mathai, was shooting the film. Prasoon was also there for whatever reason. അത് ആലപ്പുഴയിലായിരുന്നു എൻ്റെ ഷൂട്ട്. ഞാൻ ആ സമയത്ത് എനിക്ക് തോന്നുന്നത് ഡിഗ്രി ഫൈനൽ ഇയർ ഒക്കെ കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ടിരിക്കുന്ന സമയത്ത് ഞാൻ Mahesh used to own a small little island. So അത് ആ ഏരിയയിലാണത്, ഒരു ബോട്ട് റേസൊക്കെ ആയിരുന്നു ഷൂട്ട് ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ടിരുന്നത്. അപ്പം ഞാൻ ഇപ്പുറത്തെ കരയിൽ നിന്ന്, തെങ്ങിൻ്റെ പുറയിൽ നിന്ന് ഞാൻ പീയൂഷിനെ കണ്ട് പീയൂഷിൻ്റെ ബിഹേവിയർ പാറ്റേണൊക്കെ അന്ന് ഞാൻ നോക്കി മനസ്സിലാക്കാൻ ശ്രമിച്ചിട്ടുണ്ട്. അത് കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട് ലൈഫ് വെൻ ഇറ്റ് സ്റ്റാർട്ടഡ്, ഐ തിങ്ക് ഐ സ്റ്റാർട്ടഡ് മേക്കിംഗ് ഫിലിംസ് 98 onwards. 2000, me and Sneha started Nirvana. 2001, 2002. ഈ സമയങ്ങളിലൊക്കെ ഞാൻ സ്നേഹയുടെ ഇടയ്ക്ക് ഞാൻ ഒരിക്കലും ഒരു ഏജൻസിനെ പോയി ഞാൻ കണ്ടിട്ടില്ല ജീവിതത്തിൽ ആസ്കിങ് ഫോർ വർക്ക്. കാര്യം somewhere I think initial stage I felt it was just a waste of time because who are you? You know, you're someone from Kerala. ഇതൊക്കെ നമ്മുടെ ഉള്ളിലെ ചിന്തകളാണ്. പോയി എന്താണ് പറയുക? So whatever that you have in front of you, just try and make the best out of it. Work will speak and be quiet. അങ്ങനെ പക്ഷേ ഒരു 2002-03 ഒക്കെ ആയിട്ടും I don't think I was ready, and I keep telling Sneha, it's not time to meet Piyush. I think we don't have sufficient work to meet him, but one day I want to meet him. അങ്ങനെ ഇരിക്കുന്ന ഒരു സമയത്താണ്, of course, couple of work, in fact, whatever that I did, won some awards, and it was just getting better in terms of the quality of production. അങ്ങനെ ഇരിക്കുന്ന സമയത്താണ് 2003-ൽ നമ്മുടെ മുമ്പിൽ ഇരിക്കുന്ന wonderful, my close friend, Rajiv Rao എന്നെ വിളിക്കുന്നത്. And I was so excited. Ogilvy, Mumbai, I'm getting a call finally. Someone from Piyush's team, and Rajiv and Mahesh is no more with us. Both of them called me, and they were briefing me about the first campaign for Hutch. And they explained wherever you go, our network follows. And they told me about this little story. And it was unbelievable. Karim, once I got into that film was made. And I was always stressed. Piyush varuva location എനിക്ക് കാണാൻ സാധിക്കുമോ ഞാൻ ഇടയ്ക്കിടയ്ക്ക് ചോദിക്കും. പക്ഷേ in fact ഇല്ല എന്നവർ പറയും. Anyway, ആ ഫിലിമൊക്കെ I finished, and then at the time of presentation is where I met Piyush for the first time. അത് കഴിഞ്ഞ ദിവസം I was telling someone about this. So when I was presenting this film, that room was full of like the big corporates, right? The team from Hutch. There were Harit and so many big people, a lot of Bombay, Ogilvy, Piyush's colleagues, including Rajiv and Mahesh. And Piyush very proudly presented the film. He said, nobody is going to touch. That's the power of a leader. Nobody is going to touch this film. This will not be edited. It's one of the most beautiful films. And he gets emotional. And then after 3 rounds of presentation, he came around the table, എന്നെ ഹഗ് ചെയ്തിട്ട് ഞാൻ ദൂരെ നിന്ന് കണ്ട ആ മീശ എൻ്റെ മുഖം മുഴുവൻ, I think almost he smooched me in front of so many people. Can you imagine? That was like, I keep telling Sneha every day about this. ഞാൻ എപ്പോഴോ കാണണം എന്ന് ആഗ്രഹിച്ച മനുഷ്യൻ അന്ന് തുടങ്ങിയ ജേർണിയാണ്. I think from then onwards, the amount of campaigns that I got associated, whether it's a film, not a film, shoot, whatever. I got so lucky with him. Piyush actually normally shooting location വരാറില്ല, വളരെ rare ആയിട്ടേ പോകാറുള്ളൂ. I was so fortunate that I had him for at least 4 films. Okay, he was there with me, for nothing, just as a moral support. In fact, I think I ended up doing a lot of Ogilvy film also because of the kind of leadership quality that he had, which in fact, really you can see that kind of culture of work with a lot of colleagues, including, I ended up working with Rajiv and Mahesh for so many, and then after that Kiran. This is all a team. So, from all of them, I could feel that kind of a trust. The best thing, in fact, what they do, and that is Piyush's culture. And I think indirectly, directly, I don't know, they all, avarkkke evideyo ariyade aa culture varum. They never told me storyline. They cracked an idea, because whatever client wants, they understand, and they always had a superior power of the best clients in the country. And then it's all in the trust. When it comes to a filmmaker can take it forward. You can add values to it. You can change around things. Never Rajiv, in fact, came to my location and said, do this or do that. Piyush never insisted, just to make it his style of work. If you really look at the kind of whether it's with me or other, not just Rajiv, Kiran, so many people, so many creatives in Ogilvy, you will find a lot. It's not Piyush's kind of work or Piyush's kind of nature, like, sometimes about certain, maybe a humor. It's very different. But I think the soul of each and every communication is so impactful because it's so simple. And that will get audience very engaged. And that nature, that culture, I have seen, I have experienced with all of them. And purely because of that, I ended up doing so many films for Ogilvy. And which, in fact, through the process, I also learned. Even later stage, when you have a conversation with Rajiv, Kiran, all of them, they will tell you, Piyush never interfered with him. I still remember, I think on the way, we were just, me and Rajiv was talking about it. When Piyush saw, I haven't met him, when Piyush saw the first edit of, the dog and boy, Hutch, he said, I really want to have a close-up of this boy in the film, which is missing. And that was communicated to me. I said, I think Piyush is saying this, I'll put it, but I don't believe. Because that particular structure of the film is kept as a kind of composition where you always see the boy and the dog. And I only had one close-up in the film. So Piyush wanted to feel that boy a little more. And then I communicated back saying that I don't believe in it, I don't think it'll work, but because it's Piyush, I'll put it. Piyush saw that edit and said, what Varma said is right, take out that shot. That is true leadership quality. He'll not insist. There is no insecurity, there is no ego. This is the very early stage when you're, a master like him, a legend like him, and it's so simple and you can deal with him as a normal human being. There's so many stories. I think, from there it all started and we ended up spending so much time together, which in fact a lot of things I try to implement in my work and in my life.
So I thought I'd start by playing one film, I think, in which Piyush actually came on your set. So can we have the Indian Railways film, the first film from?
रेलगाड़ी 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 छुक 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 लोहे के साथ लोहे के साथ कल निकल कुक्कल बल्लिपुट्ट मामलिपुट्ट मामलिपुट्ट मल्लिपुट्ट ओंगोल नटगोल ओंगोल गोरेगांव यहाँ से वहाँ से यहाँ से वहाँ से यहाँ चुक 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 चुक
What an incredible memory that I have with Piyush in this shoot. Can you imagine it's a film which is, I don't think there were too many team actually from Ogilvy because Piyush was very personally attached to the chairman of Indian Railways, and I got a call from him and saying that let's have fun. The brief is just the baseline, and let's have a childlike film. Well, like kids used to do, run like a train and together, and that's it. And I never said no to Piyush at any point in my life. Even if it's just for a coffee or a small conversation, I'll make time and I'll take that effort because you will learn something from him every time. This particular shoot, it was unbelievable. As I said, Sadharana Piyush location le varathadana. Ende kuda avade irunnitte, even for an example, can you believe njan andhamittundu chela samayathu kandittu. ചില സമയത്ത് ചില കോമ്പോസിഷൻ നമ്മൾ ഭയങ്കര ഡിഫിക്കൽട്ട് ഫിൽമാണ് ടു പുൾ ഓഫ് അറൌണ്ട് 200 പീപ്പിൾ റണ്ണിങ് ത്രൂ ഡിഫിക്കൽട്ട് പ്ലേസസ് ഇറ്റ് ഇസ് ഹോട്ട് ഇൻ കാൽക്കട്ട ആൻഡ് ദെൻ യു ആർ ജസ്റ്റ് മൂവിങ് അറൌണ്ട് ആൻഡ് they'll have to be in a certain body language and they'll have to run. In fact, also, I also had so many women in this. But the second day they said, we can't do this, so that's why. So I was just trying to get all kinds of age group. Didn't work at that time. എന്തായാലും അത് ഷൂട്ട് ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കുന്ന സമയത്ത് ഞാൻ ഏതെങ്കിലും ഒരു കോമ്പോസിഷൻ വെച്ചിട്ട് അതിൻ്റെ നടുക്ക് പെട്ടെന്നൊരു പ്രൊഡക്ഷനിലെ ചെയർ ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ ഇഫ് ഐ എം സ്ക്രീമിങ് വൈ ഇസ് ദാറ്റ് ചെയർ I've seen Piyush odi poite, why is this chair there? And then he'll take the chair. You know, he was just trying to help the best as a regular, normal human being. And, you know, I don't know how to explain, you know, the time, the kind of, you know, we all know who he is, right? And it was unbelievable. And I think രണ്ടോ മൂന്നോ ദിവസം ഞങ്ങൾ കാൽക്കട്ടയിൽ ഷൂട്ട് in the streets of Calcutta. And then വൈകുന്നേരം 4:05 I am really exhausted and I'll have to also plan for the next day shoot. I'll have to sit with the team members. He will not let me go. Because Piyushന്റെ ഏറ്റവും അടുത്ത സുഹൃത്ത്, who is also a cricketer, Arun Lal. And he's staying there. And I'm staying with my team in the hotel. 5:05 light പോയി കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ he will not let me go. He'll say, you'll have to come with me. And then I'll have to do one quick, meeting with the entire team for tomorrow. എന്നിട്ട് പീയൂഷിൻ്റെ കൂടെ അരുൺലാലിൻ്റെ വീട്ടിൽ പോയിട്ട് വൈകുന്നേരം ഡിന്നറാണ്. അവർ രണ്ടുപേരും, പീയൂഷിൻ്റെ അടുത്ത സുഹൃത്തുക്കളിൽ 2-3 പേരിൽ ഒരാളാണ്. ഇവർ കൊച്ചു കുഞ്ഞുങ്ങളെ, ഞാൻ എവിടെയോ ഒരിക്കൽ പറഞ്ഞു, നമ്മളൊരു കുഞ്ഞ് അതായത് കുഞ്ഞ് ഉണ്ടല്ലോ, അത് നമുക്ക് ഒരു കറയുമില്ലാതെ നമുക്കങ്ങനെ ബിഹേവ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുമോ? അത് ചിലവർക്ക് നാച്ചുറലായിട്ട് വരും. ആൻഡ് ഹി ഹാഡ് ദാറ്റ്. ആൻഡ് ദാറ്റ് ഡേ ഒരു ദിവസമല്ല 3 ദിവസം വൈകുന്നേരം 8 മണിയാകുമ്പോൾ ഒരു ഡ്രിങ്കിൽ തുടങ്ങി ഡിന്നറിലൂടെ 2-2:30 മണിയാവും ഞാൻ ഉറങ്ങുമ്പം. ഇവർ രണ്ടുപേരും കൊച്ചു കുഞ്ഞുങ്ങളെ പോലെ അവർ ലൈഫ് തുടങ്ങിയ സമയം തൊട്ട് അവർ കാട്ടിക്കൂട്ടിയ കാര്യങ്ങളും അവരുടെ ക്രിക്കറ്റ് ഡേയ്സും വൈകുന്നേരം അവർ ചെയ്ത ഓൾ കൈൻഡ്സ് ഓഫ് സ്റ്റഫ്, ഇങ്ങനെ എണീറ്റ് നാടകം നടക്കുക, എക്സാജുറേറ്റ് ചെയ്യുക, അത് ഇത്. ആൻഡ് ഐ വാസ് ജസ്റ്റ് ആദ്യത്തെ ദിവസമൊക്കെ ഞാൻ ആരുടെ മുമ്പിലാണ് ഇരുന്നത് കേൾക്കുന്നത്? ഞാനിങ്ങനെ കസേരയിരിക്കുക, വലിയ 2 ആൾക്കാർ ലെജൻസ്, അവർ ഉരുണ്ട് മറിഞ്ഞ് വീഴുന്നു, എണീറ്റ് നിൽക്കുന്നു, എന്തൊക്കെ എറിയുന്നു, തലോണ വലിച്ചെറിയുന്നു, ഇതൊക്കെ എന്നെ കാണിക്കാൻ. ഇപ്പം നമ്മൾ അവിടെ ഇരുന്ന് ആലോചിക്കില്ല, ഈശ്വര ആരാണ് ഇവർ രണ്ടുപേരും? 2ാം ദിവസം വിട്ടില്ല, 3ാം ദിവസം ഷൂട്ട് കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട് 1 extra day Arun Lal sir insisted that I got to stay there. So another greatness about him is the minute after that hutch, every single experience with Piyush, I think he really know how to respect people. And he was very, very proud of me. He proudly introduced to his clients, to his rest of the colleagues and his family members post that. And for me, someone like I am not a colleague, I am not part of Ogilvy. The amount of time Rajiv and all of them, Kiran and Prakash, naturally you're in an office, you spend more time. But I'm just an outsider as a filmmaker, but I had that opportunity to spend equal and quality time with him. അത് എങ്ങനെയാണ് പറയുക, ചിന്തിച്ച് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ ഭയങ്കര ഇമോഷണലാണ്. ബട്ട് ഐ ഡോണ്ട് വാണ്ട് ടു ബി ഇമോഷണൽ ടുഡേ. There are many times, in fact, I've gone through that pain in last 2-3 weeks, but he will not like it because he never took himself seriously. He really knew his boundaries and his strength. നമ്മൾ ഇവിടെ ഇരുന്ന് ഇപ്പോൾ ഇമോഷണൽ ആയാൽ he will not like it. He is a fun person and let's have good memories about him. Yeah. പറഞ്ഞു പോയാൽ ഇങ്ങനെ കണ്ടിന്യൂ, ചോദ്യത്തിൽ നിന്നൊക്കെ ഞാൻ വിട്ടുപോകും.
So, I think something that everyone here would know you for is your role as George Sir in Thudurum, right? And you said that before you took that up, you had you spoke to Piyush and you said you discussed every major sort of life decision with Piyush. So, did you chat with him about this? Did you talk to him before you did the film?
Any important? Of course, I did. In fact, എൻ്റെ ജീവിതത്തിൽ എന്തെങ്കിലും ഇമ്പോർട്ടൻ്റ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള കാര്യങ്ങളോ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഇൻക്ലൂഡിങ് ഒരാളുടെ അടുത്ത് ഞാൻ ഇതുവരെ പറഞ്ഞിട്ടില്ല. ഇൻഫാക്ട് ഐ ഹവ് നോട്ട് ഈവൻ ഡിസ്കസ് വിത്ത് രാജീവ് സംടൈംസ്. എനിക്ക് വളരെ ലോ ഫേസ് ആയിരിക്കുന്ന സമയത്ത്, നമ്മൾ മനസ്സ് ഭയങ്കര നെഗറ്റീവ് ആയിരിക്കുന്ന സമയത്തോ, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ നല്ല കാര്യങ്ങൾ നമുക്ക് നടക്കുന്ന സമയത്തോ, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ എനിക്ക് കുറച്ച് പ്രഷറൈസ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള സിറ്റുവേഷനാണ്, ഈവൻ someone called me for a dinner and one of those really like a pseudo kind of characters, that I'm going to be uncomfortable. അങ്ങനത്തെ സാഹചര്യത്തിൽ വരെ ഞാൻ പീയൂഷിനെ വിളിക്കും, എങ്ങനെയാണിത് ഹാൻഡിൽ ചെയ്യേണ്ടത്? ആൻഡ് പീയൂഷ് വിൽ ഗിവ് ദ റൈറ്റ്. He'll say, partner, remember, you are, this is the kind of, I'm not talking about whether it's right, wrong, but this is how he says, partner, you are the best filmmaker in the country. Keep your chest wide open and just walk in there. So, you know, for anything, like of course, Thudirum was a big deal for me because I've never been in front of camera. And I had a conversation with him. He said, play front foot, which is his regular thing, and be in touch with me. So even for that such dinner, next day morning, and that is Piyush, and not just me, I have heard a lot of other stories. Next day morning, he will make sure, 100 kanakina work in the day, he'll make sure he'll call me. And he'll say, how did it go? How was that bugger? Did he react badly? Do you want me to call him? So, unbelievable. And yes, of course, Thudirum, while I was shooting, I think once in a week, I was in touch and he will call me, how's it going? Are you taking it well? Of course, a father figure, friend, I don't know what all. I mean, the title will not match. I think he was something else. Yeah.
I think that's very interesting that he sort of, as a leader, he sort of had an umbrella of protection over the people, you know, I think he led. So even though you were not in Ogilvy, I think you still looked up to him as a leader and you felt that umbrella of protection. And I was, when I was working at Ogilvy, I was very junior, you know, I was 21 then. And like our chances of interacting with Piyush was, you know, you end up interacting with Piyush maybe once a year. Some of us, some people go 4 or 5 years without ever even seeing Piyush, right? But we all, in the creative department, you always feel like, okay, there is a, you know, there is an umbrella of protection. You can do anything as long as it's creative because, you know, you feel like Piyush was there to back you up, whatever happened. So I think I didn't realize that, you know, that umbrella of aura of protection went out to everyone who was close to him, which is very nice to hear. I think the next thing I want to talk about is the tourism films, because you're kind of known as the, I don't know, like a master of showing India really beautifully. So we have 2 tourism films that you've done. I'd just like to play it and then maybe you can tell us a little bit about it.
If you guys have seen it, we can move on because most of the films are there. We don't have to waste time. Just play it and you want to play?
Yeah, we'll play it. I think.
Yeah, okay.
Hey! Hey, guys! Get the bags! Hurry up! Come on! Get the bags! I think there's someone there. I'll get the bags. Yeah. Hey! बैठो आ जाओ बैठ जाओ जी What?
Look!
What?
So awesome!
Looks crazy, right?
I know!
आर्य को राजस्थान कुछ ऐसा दिखा.
Wow, we'll all fit? All of us? Helmets?
If you, before we move on to the next film, if you really, you know, think about the track, okay? This is not the kind of track that, like connected to Rajasthan, kind of music that you will expect. So what I'm trying to say is even Piyush comes from Rajasthan. All his childhood, his background is all, you know, in Jaipur and in and around. As we know, all, you know, his brothers, sisters, they are all talented, and one of them is Ila Arun, who's also a fantastic singer. A lot of the stuff connected to Rajasthan kind of stuff also used before. One ആലോചിച്ച് നോക്കൂ, Piyush's ഒരു personal project ആണ്, because this is presented by Piyush. Initial PPMs were done with Piyush, and it is a tourism campaign for Rajasthan. And also with the tourism minister, he's very close to. So very personal to him. he never asked who was going to do music. He never insisted Ilaji to do the singing bit. He never asked what kind of Rajasthani stuff you're using. He comes from a completely different planet in the kind of trust that you will do it. And at one point he said, music is done? Yeah, I'll show it to you. And I've never, and he got so emotional because it was so different from what is expected. And വെറുതെ പറയുന്നതല്ല ആൾക്കാർ, ഞാൻ നേരിട്ട് കണ്ടാണ് അങ്ങനത്തെ സമയത്തിരുന്ന് കരയും കുഞ്ഞിനെ പോലെ, because he loved it so much. He get emotionally moved. And again he will hug me. You know, ലീഡർഷിപ്പ് ക്വാളിറ്റി എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് വളരെ വലിയൊരു കാര്യമാണ്. നമ്മൾ വെറുതെ ചില കാര്യങ്ങൾ പറയുന്നത് പോലെയല്ല. അതായത് വാട്ട് ഹി ഡിഡ് വാസ് ട്രൂലി ലൈക്ക് എവറി കോൺവെർസേഷൻ പുള്ളി പറയുന്ന കാര്യങ്ങളാണെങ്കിലും ഹൗ ഹി മാനേജ്ഡ് ഹിസ് പീപ്പിൾ. ഞാൻ നേരത്തെ പറഞ്ഞ പോലെ ഇവരുടെയൊക്കെ പേഴ്സണലായിട്ടുള്ള ഇപ്പോൾ കിരൺ, രാജീവ്, മെനി ക്രിയേറ്റീവ് അണ്ടർ പിയൂഷ്. ആക്ച്വലി വലിയ Piyush was very good with humor and emotional stories. Sometimes we actually took off many a times. No, Rajiv will be here soon. He will talk. Kiran will be here. They'll talk about their experience as a senior creative and boss. Never, there's trust once you believe in it, because he always used to say, and എനിക്ക് തോന്നുന്നത് അത് തന്നെയാണ് ഒഗിൽവിയുടെ ഒരു ബേസിക് അപ്രോച്ചും. Hire better and bigger people than you. And that makes, that unity much bigger. എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ എന്താണ്? ഇൻസെക്യൂരിറ്റിയേ ഇല്ല. Get bigger people, bigger, in the sense, better minds than you. And that makes, so അത് ബിലീവ് ചെയ്യുന്നതും ബിഹേവ് ചെയ്യുന്നതും മനുഷ്യനാണ്. അപ്പം ഇങ്ങനത്തെയൊക്കെ സമയത്ത് അത്ഭുതകരമാണ്. ഞാൻ എൻ്റെ ജീവിതത്തിൽ അതൊക്കെ എക്സ്പീരിയൻസ് തന്നെയാണ്. ബിക്കോസ് ഐ ഹാവ് ഓൺലി സീൻ പീപ്പിൾ ഇൻസിസ്റ്റിംഗ്, making sure that the work looks like their work, and he will not. And at any particular point, if there is any time that you have gone off track, അത് കറക്റ്റായിട്ട് സജസ്റ്റ് ചെയ്യും. എനിക്ക് എൻ്റെ ഭാഗ്യവശാൽ ഇന്ന് വരെ അങ്ങനത്തെ ഒരു സിറ്റുവേഷൻ ഉണ്ടായിട്ടില്ല. ഞാൻ പറഞ്ഞ പോലെ നേരത്തെ ആ ബോയ് മാത്രമേ ഉള്ളൂ. But I think initially he insisted on a jingle because Piyush is very good with jingle. Like he loves, and if you really look at Cadbury and all that, he always wanted a song. But the nature of Hutch, Dog and Boy was slightly different. It was much more simple. And he insisted on to make it a song, right? Yeah, that was the only thing. But then it became better. And if I was not okay with it, I can actually argue with him, and he will think about it. And if it is right, I'll put it. True leader. ഇനി പറഞ്ഞ് തീരാൻ പറ്റില്ല. ധാരാളം കഥകൾ പറയേണ്ടി വരും.
So, is there a film that you regret not doing? Did you ever let a film get away with you? I mean, get away from you?
Yeah, I mean, you know what? Piyushന്റെ ഏർലി സ്റ്റേജിൽ ചെയ്ത പല കാര്യങ്ങളും അതിലോട്ട് പറയുമ്പോൾ ഞാൻ ഒരു കഥയും കൂടെ പറഞ്ഞിട്ട് വരാം. ചിലപ്പോൾ ഞാനത് വിട്ടുപോകും. വളരെ വലിയൊരു പോയിൻ്റാണ് പീയൂഷിനെ പറ്റി മനസ്സിലാക്കേണ്ട ഒരു കാര്യം. എൻ്റെ അറിവിൽ എത്ര പേരുണ്ടെന്ന് എനിക്ക് അങ്ങനെ അറിയില്ല. കാര്യം ജോയിൻ ചെയ്തത് ഒഗിൽവിയിൽ, ജീവിതകാലം മുഴുവൻ വർക്ക് ചെയ്തത് ഒഗിൽവിയിൽ. ദാറ്റ്സ് വാട്ട് ഇസ് കോൾഡ് ബ്രാൻഡ് ലവ്. ഹി കീപ് സെയിങ്. What do you think with that kind of a name and a towering figure? Can you imagine endoram offers he would have got to become a CEO of a company or starting another agency or whatever? He never, bothered about money. It was always about a brand. He loved Ogilvy. And he spent all his time in Ogilvy. And that's the only way that you can actually build a brand. And he was the most important person building Ogilvy. Globally, in fact, and Indian advertising also, ഗ്ലോബലി നമുക്കൊരു മുഖച്ഛായ ഉണ്ടായതൊക്കെ പുള്ളിയുടെ അൺബിലീവബിൾ വർക്കാണ്. ഒന്ന് ആലോചിച്ച് നോക്കുക, പുള്ളി ആദ്യം കയറുന്ന സമയത്ത് എത്ര പേർക്ക് അറിയുമെന്നറിയില്ല. പീയൂഷ് ആദ്യം ഒഗിൽവിയിൽ കയറുന്ന സമയത്ത് ആർക്കും വേണ്ടാത്ത ബ്രാൻഡുകളുണ്ടല്ലോ, അതായത് ബോറിങ് ബ്രാൻഡുകളിലെ അങ്ങനത്തെ ബ്രാൻഡിൽ ഹിന്ദി കോപ്പി റൈറ്ററായിട്ടാണ് ജോലി കിട്ടുന്നത്. അപ്പോൾ ആർക്കും ചെയ്യാൻ താല്പര്യമില്ല ഏതെങ്കിലും ഒരു ഫിലിമിൻ്റെ ഹിന്ദി കോപ്പി റൈറ്റർ. അപ്പോൾ ബ്രാൻഡുകൾ എന്താണ്? ലൂണ, ഫെവിക്കോൾ, ഇതൊന്നും ആർക്കും താല്പര്യമില്ല അന്ന്. കൻ യു ഇമാജിൻ? അങ്ങനത്തെ ബ്രാൻഡുകൾ ഹീ റോട്ട് ആൻഡ് മെയ്ഡ് ഇറ്റ് ബിഗ്ഗസ്റ്റ് ബ്രാൻഡ്സ് ആൻഡ് ദാറ്റ് ഇസ് ഹിസ് സ്ട്രെങ്ത്. സോ പറഞ്ഞു വരുന്ന നമ്മുടെ കയ്യിൽ എന്ത് കിട്ടുന്നു എന്നുള്ളതല്ല, നമ്മളത് ആ ഓപ്പർച്യൂണിറ്റി എങ്ങനെയാണത് കൺവേർട്ട് ചെയ്യുക എന്ന് പറയുന്നൊരു പ്രോസസ്സില്ലേ. ഇതൊക്കെ ഞാൻ കേട്ടും അദ്ദേഹത്തിൻ്റെ കൂടെ പല വർഷങ്ങൾ കൂടെ നടന്നും ഒക്കെ അതിൻ്റെ ഡെപ്ത് ഞാൻ ശരിക്കും മനസ്സിലാക്കിയ ഒരാളാണ്. അൺബിലീവബിൾ ഹ്യൂമൻ ബീങ്. അഗൈൻ പറഞ്ഞാൽ തീരൂല, അങ്ങനെ പോവും.
So we were talking about a film that you didn't get to do with Piyush.
So that's what. അപ്പോൾ ആ ഏർലി സ്റ്റേജില്ല കുറച്ച് കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട് ഭയങ്കര ഒരു ടേണിംഗ് പോയിന്റ് ഇൻഫാക്റ്റ് നടന്ന ഒരു വളരെ ഇൻട്രസ്റ്റിംഗ് ഒരു മ്യൂസിക് വീഡിയോ ആയിരുന്നു, വിച്ച് നേരത്തെ നമ്മളിവിടെ പ്ലേ ചെയ്തില്ലേ. സഡൻലി ഐ എം ജസ്റ്റ് വിട്ടു പോണു. വാട്ട് ഇസ് ദ ഫസ്റ്റ് ലൈൻ ഓഫ് ദ സോങ്? മിലേസൂർ ഇറ്റ്സ് ലൈക്ക് അൺബ്യൂട്ടിഫുൾ. അതിനകത്ത് ആക്ച്വലി പുള്ളി മേരാ ദേശ് എന്ന് എങ്ങും പറഞ്ഞിട്ടില്ല ആ സോങ്ങിൽ, പുള്ളി എഴുതിയ സോങ്ങിൽ. ബട്ട് യു ഫീൽ ആ കൺട്രി. ആൻഡ് ദാറ്റ് വാസ് വെരി ക്ലോസ്. ദാറ്റ് പെർട്ടിക്കുലർ പ്രോജക്റ്റ് വാസ് വെരി ക്ലോസ്. ഇറ്റ് വാസ് റെക്കഗ്നൈസ്ഡ് വെരി വെൽ. എനിക്ക് തോന്നുന്ന ഐ തിങ്ക് അറൌണ്ട് 7 to 8 years ബാക്ക് പീയൂഷ് എന്നെ വിളിച്ചിട്ട്, I'll never forget, he said, can we do part 2 of this? I'll write. Unfortunately, അത് നടന്നില്ല. കാര്യം ഐ തിങ്ക് ആദ്യം പ്രൊഡ്യൂസ് ചെയ്ത പ്രൊഡക്ഷൻ, ഐ തിങ്ക് some rights issue, something, it didn't go. And I don't know what happened. So I really, because that would have been a lot of pressure, right? I mean, something like a Millet Sur, I'm planning to do something with him. Again, part 2, the amount of pressure as a filmmaker is humongous, but I love that kind of pressure. But I regret not, being part of it, and never happened.
So let's try and break it down for the audience, right? Like, you've been one of the filmmakers who's sort of worked with Piyush the most across his career. What do you think made a film a Piyush Pandey film? Like, what is that? Was there a pattern or some soul to the film that you said that you watched the film and said, yeah, that's a Piyush Pandey film?
Impactful, simplicity, connecting directly with audience, as is always says, respect the audience. He never writes for clients. He always writes for audience, which is so important. And you can see that, whether it is Piyush, which is coming down to anyone under Piyush. You can see that, and that's why I always said I really love to be in that gang of Ogilvy, because they trusted me, not just me, any filmmaker part of that particular organization. Because we filmmakers also have conversation, experience with other, but that's unbelievable teamwork. And Rajiv, most of the time, according my information, or Kiran, I don't think they went and presented Piyush, this is what we are doing. Piyush said, go and do it and I'll see it. Play front foot. He was always like a cricketer. That spirit of being together. Just take that risk and then do it. And that's what they deal with me. You do it. And then I'll take the film and do it. And then eventually so even like for an example, 18 years of my association with a brand like Vodafone started off with Hutch. And eventually it was Piyush, me and Rajiv at the end stage, and later stage Kiran was there for many years. But when we started off, 18 years of a filmmaker getting associated with brand, that's brand love. And so it's not that every time we got it right. And that's what's called teamwork. There's a marketing team from Vodafone, there is Ogilvy team, and then there's filmmaker and his team. And we were together. And many a times we have done mistakes, many a times it didn't work, but we took it together. We said it's not, we never said client in the briefing in the prashnamana. I never said it is a creative issue. They never said it's a filmmaker taking the film in a bad way. We took it, we said, okay, this is a mistake, next time let's just take it and try another thing. 18 years, and most of the time we found success. And as Piyush said in a couple of interviews, When people ask you, when is the next Fevicol film coming? When people ask you, when is the next Vodafone coming? Can I see more of Dog and Boy? Can I see more of Zuzus? That means it is in their bloodstream. It's not anymore advertising. It has become part of their culture. I know so many people told me that I own, as if they own, because they feel very, those days especially, proud. എനിക്ക് വോഡഫോൺ നെറ്റ്വർക്കാണ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. It's purely because of advertising and what 360 advertising these guys did, not just the film.
Yeah, in fact, when you're talking about Zuzus, I think everyone here has seen the Zuzu commercials. I remember watching the Zuzu commercials and thinking, are the Zuzu speaking Malayalam? And are the Zuzu speaking Malayalam at some point?
It's not always, because it's all gibberish. Of course, at one particular stage, we were there for more than 30-35 days, especially first set of films. And tremendous amount of pressure, right? Morning we shoot, evening I edit, in the night I'll dub. And I think after some 30 days, Rajiv left because he wanted to go back, and I was there for another 5 or 6 more days.
Sorry, where were you shooting this?
This was in Cape Town, not because of anything. We have enough and beautiful talent in our country. But personally, I really, because of 2 reasons, I shot in Cape Town, because you're asking. One is fantastic team I know really well. As Piyush always says, even in filmmaking, it's all about teamwork. You just can't take the credit at any particular point, because so many people come in and contribute. My art director was absolutely fantastic, and her team, Sally White. The production there, I hired a new production house at that particular point, because I'd want more of a personal kind of involvement in that project. So they were very small, now they're very big. Platypus production. So everybody contributed, because we never knew where we were heading. Like, for example, initially it was kids and they didn't go well because they were banging each other. Then we started hiring theater actors who were short. Angane pala experimentum in early stage it happened. Okay, but I ended up shooting there because one is talent, and second thing, I really want to keep it confidential, because already ആ സമയത്ത് ഫോണിൽ പടം എടുക്കുക അതൊക്കെ ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു. അപ്പം just to create that kind of like an animation world, because set was designed like that. അപ്പോൾ അതൊക്കെ എടുത്ത് ആൾക്കാർ ഇതൊക്കെ ഇടുന്ന അയച്ചൊക്കെ കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ ആ കോൺഫിഡൻഷ്യാലിറ്റി ഐ ഡോണ്ട് തിങ്ക് ഐ വിൽ ഗെറ്റ് ഇൻ ബോംബെ എനിവേ. സോ ആ 2 കാര്യത്തിലാണ് അവിടെ ഷൂട്ട് ചെയ്തത്. എനിവേ, ഷൂട്ടൊക്കെ കഴിഞ്ഞ് കമ്മിങ് ടു ദിസ് മലയാളം തിങ്, രാജീവ് ഓൾസോ ലെഫ്റ്റ്. Then suddenly, you are in a country in Cape Town, and it's all fun for the first 2-3 weeks, and you're working. And I was alone, and a couple of times I had a fantastic guy who was, I'll brief him how to say, and then I speed up his thing, and sometimes I also dub. Very few films I also dub. അപ്പോൾ അങ്ങനെ ഇരിക്കുന്ന സമയത്ത് 10-30 ഒക്കെ കഴിയുമ്പോഴത്തേക്ക് എന്നെ സംബന്ധിച്ച് 30 ദിവസത്തിൽ 2 ദിവസമെങ്കിലും ഞാൻ നാട്ടിൽ വന്നിട്ട് പോകും. എനിക്ക് ആവശ്യമുള്ള ഭക്ഷണം കഴിച്ച് കഴിയുമ്പോൾ എനിക്ക് ബ്രീതിങ് സ്പേസായി, എനർജിയായി, ഞാൻ തിരിച്ചു പോകും. അതെല്ലാം കൂടെ മിസ് ചെയ്തിട്ടാണ് ഒരെണ്ണത്തിൻ്റെ അകത്ത് കപ്പമീൻ കിട്ടിയാൽ കിട്ടിയില്ലേ കിട്ടിയില്ല. അതൊരു തിൻ ലൈനിൽ പോകുന്നൊരു കാര്യമാണ്. ജസ്റ്റ് സംടൈംസ് നമ്മുടെ ഒരു ചെറിയ കുസൃതി ഉണ്ടല്ലോ.
So if you guys go back and watch the Zuzu films, I think the Zuzus are running around the Eiffel Tower and they're saying, puttum kadla, puttum kadla, puttum. I think only Malayalis watching it will be like, I think. So I think that was, I think it was really magical for people from Kerala to see. I mean, most of us, or most people, right, like they're on one side of the television, right? Like there is no understanding of what happens, like what goes into making this ad that you're seeing on TV. You only see the ad. You don't know that there is a client called Vodafone. There is an agency, and then the agency, someone like Piyush Pandey and his team, they come up with a strategy for it, and then they write the commercial, and then they come and they meet a director like Prakash, and then Prakash Verma makes the film, right? So there are so many moving parts to this thing that appears on your TV while you're watching the match. And I think there's a lot of magic that people don't know that's going on behind the scenes. And even Piyush, right? Like I think Prakash earlier was saying that he met someone who at the Ogilvy office, and they didn't know who Piyush was. The new joinee didn't know who Piyush Pandey was. Right? People just know his work. They don't know him as a person. And I think it's very nice that you're able to come here and tell us, those things about this person that all of us can learn, like the lessons that we can learn about leadership, about creativity, about, just to sort of take a few sentences that you've said, like Piyush operated from a place of complete, security, right? Like that's one thing when it comes to being a creative leader, that he was completely secure in it. So that was one thing. I think the second thing you were saying is that
impact is very important. Unless you don't engage audience, any kind of medium, it's very difficult. You'll have to engage them. And only through stories you can do that. And he did that beautifully.
And I think I'd like to wrap up our session with like maybe something that you can tell the audience, like if you had a young director here, and I'm sure there are quite a few young directors who are sitting here in the audience who are here to learn from you. What are 3 things that you would tell them about filmmaking, about creativity?
I am still learning, guys. In fact, I don't know how to, I can only tell my experience and what I've learned from such interesting, legendary, people. And one thing, most important thing, especially nammalipa kadannu pogunnoru kalaghattam, very difficult actually to convince audience, whatever format, whether it's a long feature film or a documentary or a commercial. Engaging people is becoming more and more difficult because of social media that engages people. And how do you make a film more engaging than something that you see, right? A 5-second clip which is someone shot because they saw something interesting. One day ഇരുന്ന് പോകുമ്പോൾ എന്തോ കണ്ടു, അത് ഷൂട്ട് ചെയ്തു, ഭയങ്കര ബ്യൂട്ടിഫുൾ ആണ്. നമ്മളെങ്ങനെയാണ് സ്റ്റേജ് ചെയ്തൊരു സെറ്റപ്പ് ഉണ്ടാക്കി അതിലൊരു കഥ കൊണ്ടുവന്ന് അത് എൻഗേജ് ചെയ്യിക്കുക. അത് ഇന്ന് ചെയ്യുന്നവർക്ക് എനിക്ക് ഭയങ്കര റെസ്പെക്റ്റാണ്. ഹൗ ഡു യു എൻഗേജ് ദാറ്റ്? അപ്പോൾ അത് എനിക്ക് തോന്നുന്ന ചില കാര്യങ്ങൾ ഞാൻ പറയാം. എനിക്ക് തോന്നുന്നത് ഞാൻ ശ്രമിക്കുന്ന കാര്യങ്ങളും ശരിയോ തെറ്റോ ഒന്നും അറിയില്ല. ഐ ഡോണ്ട് നോ വേർ ടെക്നോളജി ഈസ് ഗോയിങ്, ഹൗ ദിസ് ഇസ്, വാട്ട് ഇസ് ഗുഡ്, വാട്ട് ഇസ് ബാഡ്. ഞാൻ എപ്പോഴും ചെയ്യാൻ ശ്രമിക്കുന്ന കാര്യം, ട്രൈ പറ്റുന്ന സമയത്തൊക്കെ ഫോണിൽ നിന്ന് മുഖമെടുത്ത് മാറ്റി, പീയൂഷിൻ്റെയൊക്കെ എക്സാമ്പിൾ പറഞ്ഞ പോലെ, ലുക്ക് അറൗണ്ട്, സീ ലൈഫ് അറൗണ്ട്, വാച്ച് ക്യാരക്ടേഴ്സ്, വാച്ച് തിങ്സ് ഗോയിങ് അറൗണ്ട് യു. കാര്യം ടെക്നോളജിയുടെ കാര്യം പറയുമ്പോൾ തന്നെ ഇപ്പം AI വരുന്നു. I know many youngsters in fact just fully dependent. അപ്പം നമ്മളിപ്പോൾ ഒരു ഫിലിമിൻ്റെ ബ്രീഫ് പറഞ്ഞാൽ ആദ്യം തന്നെ കുറേ റെഫറൻസ് എടുക്കും, ആ റെഫറൻസിനെ കാണിക്കും. എന്താണ് നമ്മൾ കമ്മ്യൂണിക്കേറ്റ് ചെയ്യാനുള്ളത്, നമ്മൾ എന്താണ് അവിടെ പറയേണ്ട, നമ്മുടേതായിട്ടുള്ള പറയേണ്ട ശൈലിക്ക് പകരം ആദ്യം references are all good to understand where we are today, or even depending upon this technology. I think ഇപ്പം ആർട്ടിഫിഷ്യൽ AI എന്താണ് ഫുൾ ഫോം? ആർട്ടിഫിഷ്യൽ ഇൻ്റലിജൻസ് അല്ലേ? അതൊക്കെ വളരെ ഇൻട്രസ്റ്റിംഗ് ആണ്. ഇറ്റ് ഈസ് ഗോയിങ് ഇൻ ടു എ വെരി ഇൻട്രസ്റ്റിംഗ് സ്പേസ്. പക്ഷേ അതിൻ്റെ അകത്തൊരു റിയൽ ഇൻ്റലിജൻസ് വേണ്ടേ? ഇഫ് യു ബാക്ക് AI with real intelligence, it will become an interesting. You make use of technology. കാര്യം ഇവിടെ ഇരിക്കുന്ന നമ്മളിൽ ഓരോരുത്തരും വ്യത്യാസമുള്ളവരാണ്. നമ്മളെല്ലാവർക്കും നമ്മുടേതായിട്ടുള്ള യുണീക്ക് നേച്ചറുണ്ട്. And if you put that across when you crack a story, when you crack an idea, when you make a film, naturally, if you're very true to it, instead of depending upon references and AI, all that is good to understand where we are. But if you can just put yourself into that story, the people that you know, the story that you heard yesterday, something that you saw the other day, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ആരെങ്കിലും പറഞ്ഞത് ഒക്കെ നമ്മൾ കണ്ണ് തുറന്ന് വെച്ച് ചുറ്റിനും നോക്കിക്കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ, once your uniqueness comes into that particular story or a film or an art or a music, whatever, it becomes naturally original and unique because you are unique. AI can only give you what is till now, what is there. But it will not be you, right? And we don't want to be in an artificial situation ever. Just get that real intelligence into it and result എപ്പോഴാണെങ്കിലും വരും. If you're really true and pure to whatever, this is my experience. I've been in the industry now more than 30 years now. And you know, it just, I know whether sometimes there is no money, but I'm so excited about the idea, what someone said. Or you got an idea, or whatever. Never thought of money. Money will come. A result of this films will come. True early stage, like when I get, you know, very interesting brand, I know that this will, people will watch, carry the exposure ഉണ്ടാവും, കാശില്ല. ഞാൻ ഒട്ടും അന്നുമാണ് ഇന്നും പല സമയത്തും, because you're excited but there's no money. There's some projects that you make money. Initial stage, like I'm doing big corporate brands ഒക്കെ, അമ്മയുടെയും ആഭരണങ്ങളൊക്കെ നമ്മൾ പണയം വെച്ചിട്ട് ചെയ്യുന്ന അവസ്ഥകൾ ഞാൻ കടന്നു പോയിട്ടുണ്ട്. പക്ഷെ ആ സമയത്ത് you really believe in that idea and you really want to do it. അപ്പോഴല്ല പിന്നീട് അതിൻ്റെ റിസൾട്ട്സ് വരും. So stay true to it and try and make the best use of it. നേരത്തെ പീയൂഷിൻ്റെ കാര്യം പറഞ്ഞ പോലെ എന്ത് ബ്രാൻഡാണെന്നോ എത്ര ചെറുതാണെന്നോ ഉള്ളതിലല്ല കാര്യം. You can turn around. So stay true to it and yeah, എന്ത് ജീവിതത്തിൽ സംഭവിച്ചാലും gratitude.
With that, full of gratitude for you. Thank you for coming here, for, you know, giving us the wisdom that you got from Piyush and really like entertaining all of us with your wisdom. So
Now I think you will have a fantastic session again because Prakash is here, Kiran is here, and another favorite filmmaker and an unbelievable talent, Suresh. ഞാൻ ഇന്നും അത്ഭുതത്തോടു കൂടി കാണുന്ന ഒരു ഭീകര ആർട്ടിസ്റ്റാണ്. And Rajiv, I can, you know, do like another big session because my relationship with is amazing. And let me also tell you, Rajiv, like me, his relationship with Piyush, like he, you know, it's like എന്തോ ഒരു സ്പെഷ്യൽ, ഒരു കുഞ്ഞിനെ പോലെയോ അനിയനെ പോലെയൊക്കെയാണ്. രാജീവിന് മാത്രമേ പറ്റൂ. സുരേഷ് നടരാജനാണ് ഷൂട്ട് ചെയ്തത്. You might have seen other pictures of Piyush like this. Only Rajiv did this. Only Rajiv can make Piyush laugh like this. And the beautiful images of just you know, he's closed his eyes. Suresh Natarajan shot it and he trusted Rajiv with it. So his book front cover is all done by Rajiv. Only he can do it. And you'll have a great session now with them. Yeah, thank you.
Oh, okay, sure. Yeah. Thank you, Prakash Verma sir. Thank you, Francis. Oh, sure. Yeah. Thank you for taking us. ആസ് എ കോമൺ മാൻ നമുക്ക് ഈ പരസ്യങ്ങളൊക്കെ കണ്ട് നമ്മൾ രസിച്ചിട്ടുള്ളൂ. അതിൻ്റെ പുറകിൽ നടന്ന കഥകളും സാറും പീയൂഷ് പാണ്ഡെ സാറും തമ്മിലുള്ള ബന്ധവും റിലേഷനും ഫ്രണ്ട്ഷിപ്പും ഞങ്ങൾക്ക് പറഞ്ഞു തന്നതിന് താങ്ക് യു സോ മച്ച്. ടു present a memento to Prakash Verma sir, I would like to invite Pramod Tevanur sir, Vice Chairman of SCMS, to join us on stage with memento. Thank you, Pramod sir. Now, Prakash Verma സാറിൽ നിന്നും മെമെൻറ്റോസ് ഏറ്റുവാങ്ങാൻ കുറച്ച് പേരുണ്ട്. അവരെ ക്ഷണിക്കുകയാണ് നമ്മൾ. So I would like to welcome I am President Sijoy Varghese to join us on stage and collect the memento from Prakash Verma sir. Now to receive the memento from Prakash Verma sir, I would like to welcome Chairman of Pepper Trust, K. Venugopal sir. Now let's welcome KMA President, Mr. K. Hari Kumar, to join us on stage to receive the memento. Now let's welcome K3 State President Mr. Raju Menon sir to receive the memento from Prakash Verma sir. Thank you everyone. എല്ലാവരും കൂടി ഒരുമിച്ച് ഒരു ഫോട്ടോയ്ക്ക് സ്കോപ്പ് ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ. Ladies and gentlemen, give them a big round of applause for organizing this event and for Prakash Verma sir for joining us this evening. Thank you everyone. Aditha session will be a panel discussion on how Piyush Pandey sir reshaped the Indian advertising. So Mr. Rajiv Rao, Mr. Prakash Nair, Mr. Kiran Anthony, Mr. Suresh Ariat ആണ് നമ്മുടെ ഇന്നത്തെ next session the speakers. So I would like to request Francis to take over.
So we have some fantastic speakers here with us today, of course. So I think what's important is that I'll play a few videos to sort of do a little introduction for all of them. And then, so as the videos play, you can join us on stage. Can we start with Rajiv Rao's introduction?
Under the captaincy of Piyush Pandey, Rajiv found his voice, his rhythm, his fearlessness. Rajiv Rao built worlds that made India smile and sometimes feel a lump in the throat. Together they created work that touched the nation, including India's first double goal at Cannes.
Studies show that a person loses 7 minutes of his life every time he smokes a cigarette. Be nice to smokers. They don't have much time left.
Raised by a legend, and now a legend in his own right, he carries forward the spirit of creativity that Piyush believed in. Simple, human, unforgettable. Welcoming to the stage, Rajiv Rao. For nearly 2 decades, Prakash Nair grew in the company of Piyush Pandey, learning the value of instinct, honesty, and the power of a well-told idea. He led some of India's most demanding portfolios, Adidas, Cadbury's, and many more. Prakash Nair stood beside Piyush Pandey through some of Indian advertising's most defining moments. A partnership built on instinct, trust, and an unspoken understanding of great storytelling. Welcoming Prakash Nair, a colleague shaped by the captain himself. Kiran comes from the school that Piyush built, where truth matters, simplicity wins, and the heart always leads the idea. His journey is a quiet testament to dedication and an unrelenting hunger for creative excellence. When Rajiv Rao moved on from Ogilvy, Kiran stepped into the Vodafone mandate with confidence, carrying forward a legacy of stories told with wit, clarity, and unmistakable emotion. From walking in as a summer trainee in 2001 to stepping out as Chief Creative Officer in 2023, Kiran Antony stands as a true testament to the school Piyush built. Where simplicity triumphs and creativity always follows the heart. Welcoming to the stage, Kiran Antony. Piyush wrote stories. Suresh sculpted them. Both touched hearts. Suresh Ariat didn't just work in animation. He pioneered a language India had never seen before.
Girls!
Piyush believed in stories that touched the heart, and Suresh brought those stories to life one frame at a time. A creator of worlds, a master of craft, a pioneer who gave Indian advertising a new dimension of imagination. Welcoming to the stage, Suresh Ariat.
Thank you. Thank you so much, all of us. Big round of applause for everyone here. It's really an honor and privilege for me to be sitting with these people on the same stage. It's fantastic. So I just thought I'd just start off by, really trying to get some wisdom from them for you guys. So I'll start with a question to Rajiv. Rajiv, Piyush was your copy partner for your first Cannes-winning campaign. Can you put the second-hand smoking kills ad up here and everyone can see? second-hand smoke kills. The print ad, Marlboro. So I'd just like you to, talk to us about this ad, how it came about, and what is the story behind it, and what can people learn from it?
I mean, first of all, I must say I'm very, very fortunate to have worked with Piyush on that particular campaign, because we were very new, actually. Me and Mahesh, we both used to work as a team, and we had done the launch for Orange, and that was only in Bombay, but that the whole world saw it. At least the whole country saw it. Though it was only, it was like something that just blew everybody's mind. Okay, it was something very refreshing. And Piyush, I remember Piyush seeing it and say, "This is really cool." So it was a kind of stuff that was not very different for Ogilvy. But Piyush is a kind of person who sees something and he's very open to ideas or to anything new. And he loved it. He said, "Fantastic, this is superb," like that. So, but that was that. And he said, I think Renuka, who was very close to, was working with Piyush, and he had told her that I want to work with this guy. So, and I was like, wow, he wants to work with me personally. And that, honestly, as you were saying, that was the time when I must have met Piyush only once. That too by accident. I was in my boss's room and Piyush just walked in and he left, and that was it. There was no, and informally we were introduced, okay, there's these two guys have just joined us. He said, Piyush said, good, great, welcome and all. That was it. But this, so after him saying that, I think a few months later, and we did another campaign that also really did very well. And one day Piyush just comes to both, and it was I think we were in a very casual. We were in a corridor. Piyush comes to us, me and Mahesh, my partner, and said, "I have a fantastic idea." It's just like how Piyush is very excited when he gets a great idea. I mean, he's always like that, but really like a child. And he narrated this idea. He said, there is a dead horse and there is a cowboy, Marlboro cowboy, who is holding his head and he's crying. And he started laughing and he said, the line is second-hand smoke kills. And we said, wow, this is a great, but the thing is, first time when you hear it, it takes time for you to understand the idea and think, wow, so we were just smiling and like, oh yeah, great, good, but it was still sinking in. You said, chalo, acha hai? I said, हाँ, acha hai. To banao? So we said, okay, fine. So we both, started working on it, and that's how I landed this thing. I mean, it could be anybody. Maybe if it was not me, it was somebody else. Whoever came early that morning, probably Piyush narrated, and I feel, we got lucky that we were right in front of him. But it was absolutely great working on this campaign with Piyush, because Piyush had briefed us, and of course we were like, Piyush, whatever he says, we have to do it, at that time. And but the thing is, the idea was, those days there was no AI, or there was nothing to make this happen. You have to actually shoot it. And I took a lot of time trying to figure out how to do it while there was so much work happening, and this had to be done. And every time I would meet Piyush for some other meeting or something, he would remind me, what's happening on the ad? I said, and I really had not even started the ad, but I remember Piyush would always remind me, and out of 100 other things that he was doing, he remembers the ad, and he said, what is happening on, he would not let me go, so I mean, he would not forget that he's about this ad. So, and finally I said, okay, now enough is enough, I have to start working on it. And finally shot the ad, and shared it with Piyush. He loved it. I would share it with at every stage. But Piyush was, even as a scribble, I had shared it, whatever, scratch or what, put it together. He loved it. Yeah, and I think then rest is history.
So where did you shoot this?
So this was shot on a beach, but we gave it, we used a stock image in the background, but we shot the guy, we shot the horse. Horse is just lying down, pretending to be dead. It was shot on a beach without any permissions. So there were no permissions taken. Obviously, there was no money, no budget to because this was pro bono. So we went shot. And the moment we shot this, we got this shot, the cops came. And they, and luckily we had a production team, two people who had to deal with the cops, pay them some money, all those things, whatever, all those things. But we got our shot and we ran away from there. And then a lot of post work.
And Rajiv, you had to shoot that leather thing again, right?
Oh yeah. So he was just wearing denims, but I think we had to shoot that separately, add that, a lot of things. So I had worked on this for 3 months till December. I was only doing that. I think August, 3-4 months I was working on this. Every time I would get time, I would start working. But with Piyush, I think the most amazing thing is, I remember I had done just the scribble and scratch, and he was leaving. He had already left and I said, Piyush, I ran behind him. I said, he was just about to leave the building. I said, Piyush, I have done the ad. Do you want to see it today or tomorrow morning? He said, no, I'll come. So he went back all the way, in the lift, came back just to see the ad. So that's the kind of passion he has about his work and about advertising.
I think it's such a beautiful, such a simple ad, right? Like just 4 words. I think both of you have worked on Hutch, and I think everyone here in the audience has also sort of seen the ad. I thought we'll watch the longest, like the director's cut of the ad, and then then you can tell us a little bit about that, because I think that was sort of like a breakout moment for you, for Prakash, and I think just for advertising in general at that point. So can we play the Hutch ad? No, the TVC.
You and I, in this beautiful world, green grass, blue skies, in this beautiful world, winding lanes as streams go by. You and I, in this beautiful world. You and I, in this beautiful world.
So you were talking about the soundtrack for this. I think you said that the client had approved the film, and then Piyush.
No, so I think this was something now we've been reliving this for the last 2-3 weeks. What an amazing meeting we had. I mean, of course, the film was made. Clients loved it. Piyush first we shared it with Piyush. He loved it. He loved it. He saw it 3 times. Then we got the clients. Clients loved it. Piyush almost smooched Varma. That happened. But yeah, everyone saw it multiple times, and it was as Varma said. Piyush said, "Don't touch the film. It's brilliant." And at some point, obviously, I think and which was a great thing. This film had a English track, a track that's already there. It's from a rock band or an independent band, I think, and that was the soundtrack. But that track was something that probably it went very well in the film, and I could honestly, I could never think of any other track that would go so well with it. It was beautiful. But Piyush said, guys, I mean, he told me and Mahesh, he said, especially Mahesh, he said, write a song. Ek gana likho. He said, and he is not, of course, with a lot of this thing, he doesn't say write. He said, he wanted to suggest, like, think about it, write a song. And of course, Piyush saying that was enough for us. We said, okay. Yeah. And he said, write a song, you will own the film. That will be your film, your song. And I think that also comes from the, like his learning, Cadbury. I think is one of the, if it was any other track, it would not be the same thing. But today we all remember that jingle. And same with this song. So that's, and of course we went, recorded the song, rest is history.
Yeah, you were saying that the musicality of this was very Indian, despite it being an English track.
Yes. So see, again, the thing is, one is the words are simple. The words are really simple for people to understand. Same with Kuch Khas Hai Zindagi Mein. We can all, even if we don't speak Hindi, we'll remember the song. Same with this, it's you and I in this beautiful world. So that makes it more friendly to in the Indian ears, I would say. If you take any other track, I mean, of course not all, but like any Western track, it would still not, we'll not relate to it. Though this is an English song, it's still very Indian. It still feels more familiar to us,
It's true. So, I just wanted to also talk to the others, right? So, Kiran, you worked with Rajiv very closely, I think, from the start of your career at Ogilvy. So, and when Rajiv so how did you guys work together on, what was the way in which, Piyush's creative direction came down to you through Rajiv at that point?
So there are certain projects which I had directly worked with Piyush. One was on Future Group. Rajiv, you were there in that meeting that with Biani, Sone Ki Chidiya?
Yeah, I was there. Yeah.
Okay, I'll just tell you one example of how Piyush always, supported you. I'll tell you the context of this film. This was a film for Future Group. This was during, I think, 2006 or 7. They were going public and they wanted to do a thematic campaign, generally for investors. And we had written one film, and we went to Piyush's house the night before and we narrated the script, and he said, it's all fine. And next morning we were supposed to meet below the Future Group office. And at that time he gave me that sheet of paper. I remember. So like Rajiv said, Piyush likes songs. So he has written something in Hindi. And this is a corporate film, it's a long film. And he said, present this song along with the visuals. And I mean, I'm a very bad presenter. I mean, generally,
Hindi.
In Hindi, yeah.
And Hindi is
and
like
Hindi, yeah.
double.
Probably, and it's not a simple song like you and I. It's a very complex song, and it's not even for a 30 seconds. I think it was a 3-minute film or something. And it was a big meeting, and I'm generally a very bad presenter, and I was already shitting bricks, and I had rehearsed the English version a lot of times in the night so that, Piyush is coming for the meeting. This is one of my big meetings with Piyush. And morning, like 30 minutes before the meeting, he gave me this song, which is handwritten, and said, you present this song. So I just froze. and Raju knows my Hindi. And I mean, I understand Hindi, I speak Hindi, but I mean, what Piyush writes is something else, and how can I screw up his film? And Naveen was there, so Naveen told me, should I present? I said, yeah, please. So Piyush told me, no, you only should present. So I mean, that moment, everything went blank for me. Even the visuals which I had rehearsed, it's all gone out, I didn't know what to do. Should I faint? So then I thought, and there was no time, I mean, the meeting is about to start. And we all entered the meeting room. There is Kishore Biani, there is Ashmi Biani, there's a lot of people. And I still looked at Piyush, do you want to do? And I was literally shivering, I didn't know what to do. And don't worry. And Naveen is pinching me, don't present the film. So this is what, Piyush at that time said, listen everyone, imagine Kiran Pollard from West Indies is presenting the script. If you don't understand the film, I will narrate it and explain it in a better way after this. Anyway, you present. So what happened was it gave us a lot of courage to me. It didn't turn into courage or anything, but at least it lightened up the whole mood in the meeting room, which was a very tense meeting room. If for you guys, a meeting room with 25 clients is not a great place, where a lot of, anyway. So I presented it and Piyush had to narrate it again. But he really, supported me in that moment. He could have, mostly if you had written something, you would want to present it. And that's the greatness of Piyush. Me being a South Indian, he gave me that opportunity. I don't know what made him think, I would do a better version or a better presentation of that script. But yeah, that was Piyush.
No, I think, again, here, this is so amazing for Piyush to give Kiran a chance to make him feel confident. At the same time, protecting him and cracking the joke so that they all expect, they all know what to expect. The clients all know what to expect. Okay, let him do his thing. It's okay. But you will not fear next time, when you're presenting, and, that way you learn. So.
Yeah, I wish, I could play that film. It's a 5-minute film, but it's not played. It's not a great film for, advertising, but it's a great film for me.
So yeah, since you said that we won't play it, we do have it queued up, but we won't play it. I thought I'd ask something to Prakash, this Prakash Nair. You said that Piyush's sort of lesser known side was that he was an account manager, right? Like you said, he was the best account manager you've met, so I just wanted to ask.
Yeah, absolutely. See, everybody's been talking, and all these guys, including Mr. Verma, all are the creative folks, okay? They do brilliant creative. They do the great film. We have to do the dirty job, okay? Managing the client. But the biggest lesson I've learned from that man is that first, anytime he meets a client, he starts with, "Haan, partner, kaisa hai?" The next 5-10 minutes, he will discuss that guy's business. He's asking sales, how is it going? You launch an NPD, how is it doing? He knows everything. So the client is already in, he's talking to a partner. And that creates the relationship with any client. And to us, who have to do the dirty job of negotiating, buying timelines, etc., that creates a breathing space. So he was a brilliant, he'll walk into a room and he will read the room very well. He will know, okay, there is this gentleman, he is of a certain type, let me deal with him. And I'll give you an example. We were we were called for an ICICI Bank briefing. And we were being briefed by one gentleman who was next in line to Chanda Kochar. Extremely arrogant. Unfortunately a South Indian, but extremely arrogant. He sat in that meeting and trashed almost all good advertising that Ogilvy had done and generally people had done. So I'm Maidinathan. I was sitting exactly on the other side, right in the line of sight of this guy. And every time he would trash our ad, I would get a bit uncomfortable. Suddenly in the middle of the meeting, he said, "Oh, young man, you look very uncomfortable. What happened?" So I said, "Some of the ads that you were talking about is made by us." "Oh, I didn't know that." Piyush is sitting right next to him. He didn't flinch, he didn't say a word. And then this guy casually looks at him and says, "Oh, sorry, I didn't know all." Again, partner, it's fine. We don't know what you want. You don't know what we can bring. But when we work together, we will create magic. And I was sitting there, I was fuming till then, saying, how can he be so arrogant? But when I saw Piyush's reaction, I said, wow, this is a master class in client management. Keep your calm, be humble. He's the Piyush Pandey. He could have said anything that he wanted, but he didn't. And that's, I think, one of the best lessons. And ICICI Bank at that point in time was was a client that insisted that right from frame 1 to the last frame, everybody has to wear orange, all of that. Most filmmakers hated working on ICICI Banks because it was just, and then he made this film. If you have it, you can play it. So they have a ICICI song, they want that to be played from start to finish. This broke all those rules.
Bukus taliwan sukus hanam batuk lado madegi. Bukus taliwan sukus hanam batuk lado madegi. Shal kich wangana ram ke saras poon ladam. Bukus taliwan sukus hanam batuk lado madegi. Taliwan sukus anam batuk lada madegi.
I think that was a fantastic example of the kind of work that came from Piyush Pandey itself, right? I just wanted to also just introduce everyone to Suresh. I think Suresh, people may not have met you before or seen you before, but they've definitely, everyone here I think has seen one particular piece of yours. So I'll just like to play that. Can you play the Kanditund?
എൻ്റെ അച്ഛൻ്റെ പേര് പാഴുമഠത്തിൽ നാരായണ പണിക്കർ കേശവ പണിക്കർ. അച്ഛനിപ്പോൾ 89 വയസ്സായി. അച്ഛനൊരു ജോളി ഗുഡ് ഫെലോ.
സാധാരണ ഗർഭിണികളായിട്ടുള്ള സ്ത്രീകളെ അപമൃത്യുവിന് ഇരയാകുമ്പോൾ അവരുടെ പ്രേതം ഈനാമ്പേച്ചിയായിട്ട് തീരുന്നെന്നാ പറയുന്നത്. അതിന്റെ സംസാരം നമുക്ക് അറിയാനൊക്കെ, ദൂരം ഇവിടെ അറിയാനൊക്കെ. ഒരു തുണ്ണിപ്പത്തൊന്നിങ്ങനെ പറഞ്ഞുകൊണ്ട് സംസാരിച്ചു കൊണ്ടാണ് അത് ഓടുന്നത്.
So I think, this film was enormously popular in Kerala when it came out. And I remember watching it and then seeing your name on it and being like, I know this person, I've worked with this person actually, And, so this is your, passion project, you call it, but you're also an advertising filmmaker. You've done a lot of work with Ogilvy. So, you said you had what was your first interaction with Piyush? What did you learn?
Right. In fact, I was also sitting on the fences and watching Piyush, and I actually interacted a lot with the creatives from Ogilvy, even when we made Amron Battery way back in 2002. I had seen him at events, but never interacted with him. I think one time the interaction actually happened is when he came to the studio, when we were working on the IPL film with Prasoon. And it was a crisis film that they had to make a film in like a week's time or something, because there was some agreement with Setmax and there was no footage. So basically there was no shoot. It was footage from the cricketing matches that was put together as an edit, and we had to create a very memorable film out of it to give it a very powerful visual language, etc.
This was the launch of the IPL, right?
IPL, it was a launch film of IPL, the first ever IPL film. It was in 2009, I think Piyush had written that Karma Yudh line, and Prasoon sang it, and they made that. So then that night when we had like just 1 week to make the film, he came to the studio, and I had set up a presentation that this is how we are going to visually treat. He was like, okay, nice. Well, he didn't get into any details, but he just was there to like gauge the sort of, how involved one is, whether the one was passionate about the film. And after that, it was at 10:30 in the night that he came to the studio. We spent some half an hour there. Then that was the first time we interacted like that. Otherwise, there was hi hellos whenever I went to Ogilvy to present or for a briefing or whatever. We met like that. But this really made one feel that such a dangerous film. Like in a week's time, they had to like launch, and if they didn't, I think there was a major liability or something at Ogilvy's side, and we had to. But he had full confidence. When you meet and when he speaks, he doesn't put, he doesn't pass on the pressure to you, but he just said, "Arey mast hai, very nice. Let's go ahead. Dhamal. Let's really rock it." Like that, he came and spoke and went. And of course, the film worked.
So I think let's show the audience this film. I think many of them would have seen it, but I think we've got it queued up.
It's quite old film.
Yeah. Can we play the IPL film?
आंखें ऊंची कर देख शिखर हथियार उठा तू दिखा हुनर मुट्ठी में तेरी है ताकत दुश्मन की आई है आफत तू लगा दाव तू लगा दाव तू लगा दाव तू लगा पेच तू दिखा जिगर तू दिखा तेज लाखों धड़कन की जान है तू लाखों के दिल की शान है तू लगा जोर तू लगा जोर तू लगा जोर तू मचा शोर एक महावीर संतान है तू ना देश युद्ध ना धर्म युद्ध ये है धरती पर कर्म युद्ध कर्म युद्ध
DLF इंडियन प्रीमियर लीग पेश करते हैं क्रिकेट का कर्म युद्ध 8 टीमों के बीच धुआंधार लड़ाई शुरू हो रही है 18 अप्रैल से सिर्फ मैक्स पर।
I also have a Piyush story around IPL actually. My team, Ryan's team, when I was in Ogilvy, we worked on IPL. So I think this was my first year at Ogilvy, and we had gotten the IPL brief. We had written, I think, around 400 films we had presented to Ryan before Ryan finally took 4 films to Piyush's room. And Ryan was presenting our films, and my film was there. And my first year in advertising also. So I was so excited to go into Piyush Pandey's room, and then my boss is presenting my script to Piyush Pandey himself. I'm really excited about it. And Ryan starts presenting. And all of you might know, but Piyush was a very religious person, right? I think he used to say, he used to pray very regularly. He's a very religious person. And our film was about the film I had written was about an atheist, who's just against everything that's religious. But then when he sits down and the IPL is playing and his team is on the last ball, he starts saying the Hanuman Chalisa. So when my boss started presenting it, he suddenly said, and then this guy starts saying the honeymoon Chalisa. And until then, Piyush was listening and he was like nodding along. And when my boss said honeymoon Chalisa, I said, next. And then, and then that was the last time, I got to present my film to Piyush. But I guess that happens. So the next thing I want to talk to Rajiv, I think Prakash and you both worked on the Zuzu campaign, right? And Piyush has famously said that he didn't work on the Zuzu campaign. So I want to understand from you, but I think before you've said that there was always Piyush's hand on that. So what do you feel?
I want to say that after I joined Ogilvy, I think I got a completely different kind of confidence, to work, to do stuff that is very path-breaking, very different. Of course, we were good, but we were like, even without Piyush telling us, we knew there was a kind of atmosphere in Ogilvy where great work was obviously, is the only way to go. And you don't have to fear. Do it. Just go with your best work. So there was that fearlessness, which all of us had. I think so. Everything that we did, I would say, we credit Piyush for that, because Piyush was always, he was there. If something went wrong, if it's not going through, he will make sure he's there to back you. So, and this has happened on multiple occasions where I remember we had done one billboard campaign for Hutch, and something was not, obviously it was really good, but the client wanted something which was not really appropriate for the visual. I mean, typically adding more stuff, making it ugly. And we shared this with Piyush. Piyush loved the creative. But he said, and we said, Piyush, but this is not required. Immediately he called Piyush called the client and he said, partner, this is superb work. Now this is something that Piyush doesn't need to do that. It's not like such a big campaign, but he said, this is great stuff, partner, this is brilliant. But don't do this. Take this out. It works brilliant even without it, So, and he convinced the client and he said, keep it clean, keep it simple. This is what, we could not do it, but he would do that. So he always has your back. So even for Zuzus, I would say, though, I don't recollect how it all happened, but we finished the films and we told Piyush that we are very excited. We were in Cape Town and Piyush coincidentally was in Cape Town because he was invited to see the match. I think he was invited to see that, and we said, Piyush, we have the films. And this was, as Verma said, this was very confidential. We wanted to, this was second year of IPL. It was, the first person was Piyush. We wanted to present to Piyush. Piyush came to the, early morning he came, I think around 10, whatever, to the production, post-production place. He saw the films and he laughed. Now, he had no clue about what we are going to present. He saw it, he just laughed. You see, now the thing is, he doesn't think, he's like, whether this is right, what is it saying. He loved it, everything made sense. He just loved it, and he reacted from the gut. And he just loved every film, and we showed him, I think almost all the films. I don't know how many films. He saw every film, and he laughed louder and louder. And after that, obviously, he would give so many interviews, talk about it to everyone. Every client, he would say that, this is one of the best work. This is, so that makes client do brave stuff. I think when Piyush says this is great stuff, and of course, people could see that it was something, this thing. But Piyush always introduced us, whether it's Mahesh or Verma or me, to say, this man did Zuzus. So that is something that you really feel good about, okay. He's actually making the campaign also, like, in a way saying, this is a great campaign, you guys should do something like this. So that was his thing, and another thing is, when he contributes to something, even that small thing would change the whole thing. Like, as I said, like the Boy and Dog film, without the song, I don't think, the film would be great, but it would not be so memorable. It would not be so long lasting. He would do that, and when it's not required, he would not touch it. So, like Zuzus, he said, this is perfect. I don't need to get involved. And he would just pat your back. So that's Piyush.
Such an interesting thing that there's, like, even with such a towering creative personality, there was no ego in that. he didn't want to see himself in all the creatives, right? He was happy to delegate it to and see your sort of creativity shine, which I think is beautiful. I think what you just spoke about, his interaction with clients, right, where he could call a client and sort of sell the work. I just want to talk to Prakash about that, right? Like, do you have an example?
Yeah. In fact, Cadbury, the SRK campaign, I don't know, the Shah Rukh Khan campaign, I don't know how many of them have seen it. It was a very innovative use of technology where we had Shah Rukh Khan as brand ambassador for your neighborhood kirana stores, your neighborhood general stores, your neighborhood shoe stores. Okay. Now, we had done all the work.
Can you just tell the audience a little bit more about that campaign?
So, the genesis was, we were just coming out of COVID, okay? Your general stores, your mom and pop stores, they were not doing well because the malls and everybody, they had big budgets, so they could come back into business. And Cadbury globally has a proposition of generosity. Now, generosity, if you look at Cadbury Dairy Milk and the logo, it's a glass and a half. So apparently Mr. Cadbury was of the belief that I could have made the chocolate with even half a glass, but I want to give my consumer the best chocolate I can. So I will use more milk. So that's how the glass and a half happened. So that's the philosophy that the brand has. So generosity is at the core of Cadbury Dairy Milk. So this whole thing was, what can we do coming out of COVID, okay? What can we do as a brand which can have an impact on a wider audience? And that's where this idea of how can I get, even, like I said, the neighborhood stores were struggling to get business. How can I get India's biggest superstar to be their brand ambassador? So using technology, we had this technology where we had Shah Rukh Khan, and depending on if I'm sitting here in Kalamassery, within 2 kilometers radius, whatever shops are there, the data would be picked up, and the ad that I saw would have Shah Rukh Khan saying, buy shoes from so-and-so, buy spectacles from so-and-so. And the best part, there was no chocolate in it. It was all other categories which Cadbury was not involved in. So all of this happened. We were all super thrilled. Great technology. This was the first time in India. And then Shah Rukh Khan's son gets arrested for that drug case. Okay? Full panic. Cadbury is a global brand. The global guys called and said, listen, can this campaign? Don't do it. So generally panic, what do we do, what do we do? Call goes to Piyush. I remember calling up Piyush, and Piyush has this habit of calling people at 7:30 in the morning. He's an early riser and he expects everybody to be up. So earlier he used to just call, then he figured that a lot of people are not getting up so early. He would send a message, are you up? Call me when you're up. So anyway, I called him at some 8:30 types, and I told him this is a scene. He said, partner, the brand is bigger than all of this. Go ahead, release it. Then he picked up the phone, called the client, said the same thing. And we released it. And then not a single iota of criticism came our way. And then the rest is history. So
I think Suresh has a similar story somewhere in this space for Rajasthan tourism, right? Can I play that ad for the audience and then we can just talk about it?
when they came to me with this idea, Azaz and Mahesh. So they wanted to just do a logo animation, and they said, it's a very important thing because Rajasthan, people who visit Rajasthan takes home their own version of Rajasthan. So it's almost like a shape-shifting Rajasthan. Like everyone takes a version of Rajasthan which is their own. So I suggested, why don't you use sand? Because see, coming from Kerala, the only desert that we know of in the entire country is Rajasthan, and that is a uniqueness about Rajasthan, the way we know of Rajasthan. But when I suggested this and they went and presented, I think the tourism board and whatever, they said, oh, we are such a colorful people, we are not this dull, this brown sort of people. So, this is not an idea that we want to go with. And I think then we had a meeting at Piyush's home, and he said, "Acha, kaise hone wala hai?" And I said, this is the way we are going to do it. I said, must, very good. So it'll happen. They had a tight deadline also, like in some 15-20 days they wanted the film. And it's all done with actual sand. There is no computer animation or anything. So very, very difficult process. And I thought it's very unique for Rajasthan tourism to have something like that. And Piyush also from Rajasthan, so he also has his own notion about how Rajasthan should be presented and this new logo should be presented, right? So, but he had no such doubts. He said, okay, let's go ahead and do it. And till even then, we didn't have a okay from Rajasthan tourism government. I think he went and spoke to them. And he convinced them that, let's do it. It was not even a film. It was not supposed to be a film. It was a small logo formation sort of a thing. Then eventually it became a film, and I mean, they were very, very happy about it. I think that game-changing thing that Piyush did that time, which very casually he handled it. It must be like a big decision for to put aside some budget sought for a film like that, especially from a government organization. It is, but his conviction, and he didn't make me feel like, oh, we are going to go ask for some uphill task, and it's not, maybe it won't happen. Nothing. It was simple. He was convinced about the idea as much as I was. Again, I felt that he was checking our conviction. And I felt this is the same thing that he works the way with his team, like all the creative leaders from Ogilvy also. When they come, they don't carry any such thing that, Piyush has to approve it or something like that. They come as their own idea and they brief you, this is the idea. And they look at your conviction and your passion about it, and then we go ahead and make a film. And that is something that I felt was a very unique thing from many other agencies that we work with, where the freedom, the trust that is given to us as partners, and is something that is very unique about this team that he has developed.
I think even Verma said something very similar, right? Piyush would just gauge how passionate you were about the film and then sort of deposit his trust on you.
Yeah,
which I think is
and it's the same percolated down to all the leaders also. I mean, I was just telling Kiran that, we did an Asian Paints shoot here, and it was just Kiran who came down for a shoot. And there was another agency for which we did another Asian Paints ad. There were some 45 people at the shoot. At the shoot, some 25 from the agency and another 15 from the client side sitting. It was crazy.
So this Asian Paints ad, I think we have it. Maybe we can show it to the audience.
I have a addition to what Suresh said. Piyush used to say, if there are multiple servicing people going for a shoot, why are you going? You don't trust your creative partner? They're good boys. You stay back. So he was very clear. No unnecessary crowding, no unnecessary supervision. Why? Like I remember going to his house for a meeting along with Shumanto and his team on a Sunday afternoon. So he looked at me and said, "What are you doing here?" I've called Shumanto. So I said, "No," because Shumo said, "Come along," and whatever. Then he looks at me and said, "Don't you trust him? He's a good copywriter, don't worry." So I said, "No, I'm on my way. My brother stays down the road." Then okay, then you sit. The funniest part is he didn't let me go to my brother's house. That's a different story.
Yeah, so I think since both of you worked on that ad, maybe we can show it, and it's shot in Kerala also, right?
Yeah, it was shot in Kerala.
So can we play the Asian Paints ad? Yeah, we also have the main actor from the ad here. If you can stand up, let the.
That's Srikanth. Yeah.
Asian Paints. If you guys can find it, just let me know, then we play it. We'll move on to another. Actually, there's something that both of you have spoken about, which is about how Piyush sort of, took his, played front foot and did something when he really believed in the creative. But I think, Kiran, when I spoke to you earlier, you said sometimes Piyush had this thing that you have to do something specifically for the client, right? Like he never put the creative above the client's needs, I think, which was an interesting point you made. And you had an example of the Vedanta film. So if we have the Vedanta film, maybe we can play that.
I'll just tell you one story before the Vedanta film.
Actually, tell us the story and then...
No, it's not a big story, it's a small story. So Vedanta had come to us for a corporate film. If you follow news, this was, I think, 10 years ago, where Vedanta is into mining. So they had some issues in Orissa and Chhattisgarh, where they were facing some problems locally from the tribal people. So they wanted to do a film generally to create awareness among the, to raise their perception, about the brand. So again, went for the meeting. So Piyush came for the meeting only because there is Anil Agarwal was part of the meeting. Anil Agarwal was the chairman, is still the chairman of the meeting. He hasn't heard the script, so he just came along, and as usual, I presented something, which was an English corporate film. We were kind of little humiliated in that meeting. I think the guys briefed us to do a film with a English voiceover, which Piyush also thought, they wanted the film in English. So we wrote an English film. And like I said, some meetings don't end well. So this was one of those meetings. And after the meeting, he said, don't worry, I understood, what the client wants. And that night itself, he wrote a film. And that film was aired. And I'll just play that film.
We play the Vedanta film.
ये है इस छोटे से गांव की छोटी सी बिन्नो। और ये है इसका स्कूल।
मैं रोज स्कूल जाती हूँ।
इसके माँ बाप ने शायद अपने बचपन में स्कूल देखा भी ना हो। ये हैं बिन्नो के दो भाई गोश्तो और नंदू। बचपन में इनके पिताजी के भी दो भाई थे, पर वो रहे नहीं। ये है गोश्तो का छोटा सा खिलौना। इसके पिताजी के पास न तो एक खिलौना था और न ही बिजली। बिन्नो के पास एक प्यारी सी मुस्कान है। पता नहीं इसकी मां के पास ये मुस्कान थी कि नहीं। बिन्नो की आंखों में बहुत से सपने हैं।
बड़े-बड़े सपने।
इसके माँ बाप की आंखों में सिर्फ 3, बिन्नो, गोश्तो और नंदू। हर माँ बाप के सपने होते हैं उनके अपने बिन्नो, गोश्तो और नंदू। एक एक करके इन्हीं सपनों को हम साकार कर रहे हैं।
So actually understands, what the client wants, and he came for only that meeting. He was not part of the briefing or anything. He just wrote it immediately after the meeting. And what we started was in a world of hunger and all those things, so it didn't work. And again, like another story is, there is this company in Coimbatore who makes BLDC fans. I think they were the first ones to make BLDC fans, and they didn't have a marketing team. So the owner went to Piyush's house with a fan, and so went with a fan and said, "Can you please make an ad for us?" So he didn't have a marketing team. There was no media team. Nobody. I mean, the owner and his two partners, all three engineers, and we were briefed on that, and we wrote some films, and we went to Piyush's house, and we heard the film, and he literally scolded me and said, "Don't think like you're doing a film for Hutch or Vodafone. Think of a film which you can execute in 30 lakhs and come back." So he knew the client didn't have the money, and it was not like a typical client you would see on a day-to-day basis at Ogilvy. This is a common man who wanted to take his product to the world. And we rewrote films, and we made those films for 30 lakhs, or I don't remember. And yeah, the brand is still there, it's called Superfan. I don't know whether you know this brand, but yeah.
I think, that's very interesting. I think there's something that all of us can learn from that. Like, as creative people, sometimes we get carried away and we want to do something very cool, but I think as a creative person, if you can put the client first and say that, okay, is this really required for the client, that really helps everyone, right? I also wanted to talk to Suresh about your Amaron film, or you said that a lot of the times you said that you didn't meet Piyush, but you still felt that Piyush sent people to you. So tell me more about that.
That used to happen. It's not with Amaron, but many other projects when there are very difficult sort of execution or something that is not yet cracked. So he would tell people to come and talk to me about, and they would come and say, "Piyush ne bola, just talk to you." And they would come and talk to me, how can you do something different? What sort of, so there were several instances of such discussions that happened. That's when you remember that even though you're not in touch with him, I mean, like in a regular basis, or even at some events you meet, that's it. But he knows the people who could be banged and who could be approached, and that is a very, if somebody asks me for this purpose, can you help me with someone, I can't even remember that, oh, I know this person and I can ask that person. There is no connection like that. But he knows so many people. I mean, and his web of network would be so vast, but he could still think of, oh, for this, maybe you should talk to that person. That was an amazing quality, And that's something that I used to really respect when people, so whenever people came like that, I would really devote, maximum attention and, to figure out what solutions can be worked out, whether it's a constraint or whatever, So, and of course I was, we were talking about the Natraj pencil films, Hindustan pencil client. When we had the presentation, I remember we presented a film, and that day Piyush was visiting their office. So when he visits, the entire family comes to listen to what the story is. So that day they wanted to wrap up our presentation because he was coming, and then there was a whole mehfil that was going to happen. So people would come to the office conference room and they would sit around and listen to what he has to say, just for the sheer,
Piyush
fun.
aura.
Yeah, aura. Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you, Rajiv, actually, is there you were National Creative Director of Ogilvy for years, right? And I think you handled a lot of the day-to-day, so to the point where, as junior creatives, we didn't have any interaction with Piyush for the most part, but we all saw you on the floor every day, right? And so you were basically a representation of Piyush for us. you and Abhijit Awasthi, Kinu, were the representation or the, torchbearers of Piyush for all of us working on a daily basis. What would you say is like something that you learned from Piyush, a creative leadership habit, or something that you could pass on to us? And there are like so many, I think, agency leaders here, so many creative leaders here. So what would it be that you can tell them?
I mean, it's an endless list. I mean, Piyush, first of all, I think is a man of passion. I mean, he loves his work. He never, I don't think he stops working because he loves what he's doing. Like there were so many times where we've done with our day. I go to if I meet him either in the office late night or if I'm at his place, okay, this is after work, and we are having a drink, and he's thinking of an idea. I say, "Yaar, ye kaisa rahega?" So this is because it's something it's not something that is like it's work for him. With all it's something that gives him joy, and I think that is such a great thing to learn from. He never stops thinking. He is always even the most toughest client brief or client, he takes it as a challenge and he will try to make it fun. Like the last film that we saw, the Vedanta film, I don't think the brief was anything like that. Even the ICICI film, the way he takes a complicated brief and he's got absolute clarity to start with, and he finds a human connect, a human story, a beautiful story, and he connects it back to the brand. I think that is amazing. So I mean, as I said, one is that, I mean, again, as a leader, he would always lead. He would show us how to do it rather than tell us how to do it. So plus always, being lighthearted, not being very serious about things, I mean, there are times when we are like so stressed, but, there's no point being stressed. Laugh a little, have crack jokes, and in that, one idea comes. So I think that is such a cool way to handle things. I would say advertising is a very high stress job. We are always like working late nights, trying to fight fires and all those things. But there's no point being upset and being angry or being stressed or whatever. I mean, just say, okay, let's take it, and find a fun solution.
In fact, I think when I spoke to Kiran earlier, he had an interesting thing that you guys had worked on a film for a really long time, and then Piyush came and sort of cracked it overnight for you guys, right? I think I'll play that film, and then you can maybe, you want to give a little bit of...
So, Raju, you remember the story, the Titan, the first, what's your style?
The Amir Khan.
Amir Khan, the first film, you were working on it for...
I think, again, this is classic Piyush. In fact, this was a very big brief from Titan. I think Titan as a brand and as a category was at one point, it looked like people are bored of, Titan became HMT at one point. I mean, they had the fear that they will also be forgotten because there were so many other options, okay? Of course, it's still, and we had long workshops with client and what to do and this, and I think one full day we had exercise or like this workshop with Madhukar.
2-3 months on that project.
Correct. And all sorts of ideas, all sorts of things, also ye bhi kar sakta hai, style hai, ye hai, wo hai, so many ideas we had, what the brand is like, what brand personality, is he a hero, is he a joker, and all, yes, all that. And Piyush was, I don't know whether he was part of it, but he just simplified. He just came and coincidentally they had also had Amir Khan as the brand ambassador, but there has nothing to do with Amir Khan. He said, there is so much joy in selecting a watch. Just joy. If I want to go for a 4-day holiday, and if I want like multiple watches, each watch to go with everything, there's a joy in selecting the watch with the outfit. And he just wanted to capture that. And that was the film. That was the idea. He called the client. He said, he shared something. He said, just as an example, he shared something, how a guy is enjoying his drink. It was a very old commercial, and it just shows one guy enjoying his drink. He's making his drink and he's enjoying it. And that stayed with, that was the pitch, that was the it was almost like saying, this is what we should capture. And of course, Amir Khan was the, so we wrote for Amir Khan, and that was the Titan film.
So we'll play that ad so everyone can see.
सर पूरा बॉक्स ले चलूं?
हाँ नहीं सब नहीं, सिर्फ 2 दिन के लिए जा रहे हैं भाई।
तो कौन सी?
मैं देखता हूँ। ना 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 ला
Titan, what's your style?
The moment of like, I don't know, this, you always hear the stories of Piyush genius, but then it's really cool to actually hear how it happened, right? Like behind the scenes of the actual Piyush genius moment.
I'll add one more story. The same day, Rajiv, I think he was there for 2 days in Bangalore. So we were in Bangalore in 2004 and 5, and he came back after all the meetings, and there was this Brook Bond brief which we were not able to crack, and we narrated some films, and he cracked that film which Verma directed, that Night Plucking, which never came out in its full glory. That again, was cracked like that, Yeah. Obviously, Unilever, after all the research, I think that film was kind of chopped.
Again, the thing is that film, now we try to complicate everything, and when most of the times we get caught up with the brief and we try to say so many things. Ajay, the client wants to say this and ye bhi bolna hai, wo bhi, he wants to say all these things. But Piyush will have a one simple this thing, night plucking, which that is what happened. And it's never been, we've never seen it. We've always seen tea being plucked in tea ads in the morning, fresh dew and all that stuff. But this was the first time, and that is the truth, I think, about, that certain leaves are plucked in the night. So that, it's like a one-line brief. And then you have, it's so open for the filmmaker, for the creative to execute it. Okay, then you can think of a song. But that is the idea, and that makes everything.
So what was the script for this one actually? Because I don't think any of us, even I've not seen
that
this.
film never came out in its
But
original
the
form.
script, the thing is, it's night plucking. So obviously that was with a great track and beautifully shot.
Yeah, so what happened is it turned out to be beautiful. Yeah, eventually I think it turned out to be a really beautiful film, but knowing Levers, the marketing head, many of them in fact, they really didn't get it because this was a Taj tea, and they were, I think for very many years doing just Ustad involved as celebrity, Zakir Hussain, and Wah Taj. That's the kind of communication they're so used to. So we were just really trying to do something different because night plucking, early morning, almost before sunrise, is supposed to be the best tender leaf tea, mostly which they use to export. I don't think we never get, namak actually I know opportunity kittarilla. Nalla chaya kudikkan namakku pattilla. Everything is going to the royal family, I think. Anyways, but at least doing advertising, I got to know about all this. Wow, this is the pure, whatever form of tea leaf. Anyway, once it was done, me, Piyush, the entire team, we tried. I think the chief marketing head was also close to Piyush. We all tried. The end result is actually, I think after 4 months or something, I was forced to shoot a film with Ustad. And I still did Vataj. And Piyush said, it's okay, we'll find another situation to do something better. I mean, they only deserve this. So, Vataj, we did it again.
So I think I'll ask this question to Prakash. What can clients learn about taking creative calls from Piyush?
Coming from the story Verma just narrated, and somebody said, I don't know who said it, I think clients deserve the advertising they get. Like the Cadbury client, he gets the kind of ads because he buys that kind of creative. He's got the courage to, back some great ideas. To give you an example, when we reimagined the famous Cadbury girl running onto the stadium ad, it happened just after COVID. COVID had still not completely gone, so shoots, etc. were very, this thing. We thought of the idea. First, we all panicked saying, will Piyush agree? He loved it, okay? We went and narrated the script to the client, Anil Vishwanathan. I think I owe my good part of my career to him because, and a lot of us on the Cadbury team, because he had the knack of, Kenaz, you know Kenaz, right? She posted after this film went on air saying that presenting the script took longer than getting it approved. She narrated it, client said, make it. That's it. They didn't say, and this was a completely not planned for, it was not budgeted for. He didn't say that, I don't have the budget, can you make it in less budget? Nothing. He just said, go ahead and make it. Then the pressure was on us. Now we have to live up to, and the film was shot by Bob, and Bob panicked. He's saying, no, I don't want to do it. Because he has to live up to that. So we again had a meeting with Piyush, and Piyush said, partner, just go ahead and do it. Just don't touch the song. Because we all thought, maybe because we are reimagining, maybe the song also needs to be reimagined. But he said, don't touch the song. And then the magic, it continued.
Can I just add one connected to this, because talking about Piyush, I think earlier I forgot to tell you, very important story that also how, not just creative, handling the team, sometimes also you got to be very firm. When you really want to do certain things, how do you crack that? When you talk to someone in firm is just, he was always on the right line, never, too much, appurathuilla, ippurathuilla. അത് ഹ്യൂമറായിട്ട് പറയും. ചിലപ്പോൾ അയാൾ വീട്ടിൽ പോകുമ്പോൾ ആലോചിക്കുമ്പോഴായിരിക്കും എൻ്റെ അർത്ഥം ചിലപ്പോൾ മനസ്സിലാവുന്നത്. He was so good, and like within no seconds he can come up with one-liners which people might laugh, പക്ഷെ അതിൻ്റെ ഡെപ്ത് അറിയണമെങ്കിൽ. That Indian steel is still there, that film? Yeah. Is it the long one or the small, the boy one?
It's the boy one.
Boy and girl, no? Small little thing. Yeah. So this is, in fact, Piyush is not involved with this film. It's a very early stage in my career. I think it's after Hutch or something. It was for Indian Steel Alliance, where so many companies are together. And we did a very, very small film, but it had a interesting line to it, says magic of steel. And you only show steel ഈ കുട്ടിയുടെ ഈ ക്യാരക്ടറിൻ്റെ പല്ലിൽ മാത്രം ഉള്ളൂ, അത്രയേ ഉള്ളൂ. അത് വളരെ ഇൻട്രസ്റ്റിംഗ് ഐഡിയ ആയിരുന്നു. സോ Piyush saw the film and said, I want to come for presentation. We both will go and present the film. And I'll tell you the story once we play the film. No. So this is the film which has been said? Not this.
This is the one that we have.
Two kids sitting on the fence.
No, we don't have that film actually. This is the one that we have.
Yeah, so in such situation, in fact, I'll tell you. Now, I've told my team to put the Indian Steel Alliance, and I've told them that particular film, my team has put this film. Now, in a situation like this, filmmaker like me, someone will lose a job. But if it was, if it was Piyush, he will never do that mistake, and he will properly tell him. You know, I remember once, in fact, I don't want to name, very close friend of us, who was also part of Ogilvy. He's freelancing now. I don't want to tell a name. So one of those, I think Ranjan, when he was retiring, one of LG film of mine was present. He said, I am going to put this as his retirement thing. That night party, this dear friend of ours, he's got this habit. He gets drunk, kallu kudicha, ആരുടെയെങ്കിലും തോളത്ത് കടിക്കും പുള്ളി കടിക്കും. അപ്പോൾ അന്ന് രാത്രി പുള്ളി ഒരു 3 എണ്ണം അടിച്ചു കഴിഞ്ഞപ്പോഴത്തേക്കും ആദ്യം പോയി പുള്ളി കടിക്കുന്നത് നീത്തേനെയാണ്. നീത്ത പീയൂഷിൻ്റെ വൈഫാണ്. ഇമാജിൻ പീയൂഷ് പാണ്ഡെയുടെ വൈഫിൻ്റെ തോളത്ത് കടിക്കുക. ഓക്കെ, അപ്പോൾ അത് കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട് പുള്ളിക്ക് തീർന്നില്ല, ഒരെണ്ണം കൂടെ അടിച്ചിട്ട് നേരെ പീയൂഷിൻ്റെ തോളിൽ പോയി കടിച്ചു. അപ്പോൾ നോർമലി ഒന്ന് ആലോചിച്ച് കടിക്കാന്നൊക്കെ പറഞ്ഞാൽ വേദന എടുക്കൂലേ? പീയൂഷ് പാണ്ഡെയുടെ തോളിലാണ് കടിക്കുന്നത്. നെക്സ്റ്റ് ഡേ വാട്ട് പീയൂഷ് ഡിഡ്, ഹി കോൾഡ് ഹിം. നോർമലി ഒരാളുടെ ജോലി പോവും, അതോടുകൂടി തീർന്നു. ദിസ് ഇസ് ഇറ്റ്. ബ്യൂട്ടിഫുള്ളി he said, Bhaga, you can't do this. And with a lot of affection and understanding, you know, all that. And one more time you do, I'll behave very differently. And in Piyush, you know, his kind of sense of humor was fantastic. And believe me, this gentleman, this friend of ours, stopped drinking that day onwards. And he started writing better films later. So that you know, that is Piyush. So I'm saying, anyway, this is what I've told my office guys. Finally came this one. Because I've never shown this particular film anywhere else, because again the same story, me and Piyush really tried selling that film because we both loved. And this particular film they were about to play was, I just did it forcefully. Now Piyush said, no, we can't do anything. We tried our best. So what happened? In that film is a beautiful emotion between a boy and a girl. And you know, he had a slight protruding, like teeth, കുറച്ചിങ്ങനെ മുമ്പിൽ പല്ലിങ്ങനെ പൊങ്ങി നിൽക്കുന്നുണ്ട്. വെറുതെ ഒരു ഫെൻസിലിരിക്കുന്നു, പെൺകുട്ടീനെ നോക്കുന്നു, ചിരിക്കുന്നു, അവന് നാണം വരുന്നു, പെൺകുട്ടി ഇവൻ്റെ പല്ല് കണ്ടിട്ട് ചിരിക്കുന്നില്ല. ഇവൻ വീട്ടിൽ പോയിട്ട് ബ്രേസ്ലെറ്റ് ഇട്ട് 3-4 ആഴ്ച കഴിഞ്ഞ് അതൊക്കെ സെറ്റാകും. അതായത് സ്റ്റീൽ കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട് വീണ്ടും അവിടെ ഒരു ദിവസം വന്നിരിക്കുന്നു, ചിരിക്കുന്നു, ഇവള് നോക്കുന്നു, അവൻ പ്രോപ്പർ ചിരി, പല്ലൊക്കെ ഓക്കെ. Magic of steel. That is so beautiful. You know, so Piyush has no clue about this film. He saw it and I said, this is so simple. There's so much of impact. I want to come and present this film. അപ്പോൾ ഞാനും പീയൂഷും കൂടെ അവിടെ പ്രസൻറ്റ് ചെയ്യാൻ പോകും. ഇന്ത്യൻ സ്റ്റീൽ അലയൻസ് ഞാൻ പറഞ്ഞ പോലെ so many groups. There's Tata, there's so many. So there's some 25 or 30 people, like hardcore corporates, and, you know, very serious blazer, jacket. And Piyush said, okay, this is our favorite. I'm just going to play the film. And as usual, he said, just take it and play with it. And then he played the film. First played, complete silence. Piyush looked around. He said, play one more time. Played another one more time. Absolutely no reaction. He frozen faces. He said, one more time. And then one more time, no reaction. And then he's looking at everybody. Can someone react? Piyush said. And these are like humongous, I mean, towering figures in that industry. And then finally, one gentleman opposite to Piyush said, you know, I don't know. And especially this film, because I'm sorry that I couldn't play. He said, I'm just not feeling anything in my heart or something like that. Immediately, with a big laughter, Piyush said, I think you should go and check a heart specialist. Including him, everybody laughed. And they all went back. I'm sure that gentleman's wife would have explained to him what the meaning of the whole thing is. So that was Piyush. I just forgot to tell you earlier.
Can I add one more story? Okay, this is one more story on client handling. And this is, we were at I wasn't even in Ogilvy, and this was my first Piyush interaction and first time I figured that this guy is special. I was at Lintas, so Ogilvy was obviously competition. We were at a client workshop, so Ogilvy, Lintas, McCann, HTA, then it was HTA. All of us are there, because it's Unilever is the client. And there's a huge workshop. Last day, the last session was a session by Piyush. This is 2002. Piyush comes in, he starts playing his show reel, and I'm not kidding. It looked like it was best of Indian advertising of that year. So we sitting in the Lintas team, we were like, oh God, no, this. And one after the other, one great ad, and we are feeling extremely envious. So all that presentation happened, then obviously after the session, there is a question answer session. So questions were asked, all of that happened. Then one smart brand manager says, Piyush, all this is great, but you never managed to do any great advertising for Hindustan Lever. Why is that? So we in Lintas crowd, we were like, wow, what a question. Now Piyush can't wriggle out of this. But I'm telling you, he didn't bat an eyelid. Customer, the way you said, he said, partner, I can take the horse to the water, I can't force it to drink it. And then he turned around and said, any questions? And we, the Lintas crowd, we were like, damn, he got away with that also. And then, and there's, while we make a lot of jokes about Unilever, etc., there is a certain degree of maturity also. The head of marketing, he stood up and said, guys, here is a lesson. We deserve the advertising we get. If we as a company are not able to get this kind of work from this man, then the problem is with us, not with him or his company. That, I think, was, and that's client management again, right? Stand firm, don't buckle, no apologies, nothing. Made a perfect statement. He landed the point, didn't hurt anybody's sentiments, but the point was made.
I think we can sort of wrap up with a brand that everyone here knows, a Federal Bank ad, I think, which sort of encapsulates all of this. Can we play the Federal Bank?
No, I'll just tell you what happened before this meeting.
Oh, okay.
So we had come to Kochi for a meeting. This was 2012. I think Federal Bank wanted to do a national campaign, and so we finished the meeting around 2, and then Naveen also again in the same story. So suddenly after the meeting, Piyush said, Kiran, come with me, we have to go for another meeting. So I was thinking, there is nothing, no other meeting planned for the day, and we had to take the flight which is at 9 in the night or something, and there is still time. So maybe Piyush planned some other meeting, and Naveen is also looking at us saying, this guy's planning some other client somewhere else. So nothing. So and being Piyush, I couldn't ask anything. I just sat in the car, and he told the driver something. So so I realized we were going towards the airport, and the car went to one hotel outside the airport. I forgot the name of the hotel. And by that time, he had already booked a room. So for those who don't know, he loves watching IPL. So he had booked a room, and we checked into the room and said, remote TV lagao, match lagao. So he wanted to see the match. That's the reason, he booked the ticket for 9 o'clock flight. And one more thing happened, and during the match, before that, the client, the baseline was your perfect banking partner. And the client was a little hesitant to change it. And Piyush's point was, if you're going national, you will have to change it. And the client was not so keen on changing that line. So during the match, he told me one line. And he said, ye iske upar likho, ek film. And this is the film which we made.
अच्छा सुन अब मेरे वाला जोक सुन।
उसका एक ही फेवरेट जोक है, वो संता और केले के छिलके वाला।
संता रास्ते में केले का छिलका देखकर क्या बोलता है? हाँ? बोलता है अब फिर से गिरना पड़ेगा।
हमेशा यही जोक सुनाती है और खुशी हंस देती है। मैं भी कंपनी के लिए खूब हंस देता हूँ।
संता बोलता है, अरे यार अब तो फिर से गिरना पड़ेगा।
अब फिर से कहना पड़ेगा।
साथी सही हो तो किस्मत खुल जाती है और जिंदगी खिल जाती है। फेडरल बैंक, आपका परफेक्ट बैंकिंग पार्टनर।
I think that sort of encapsulates the whole thing, right? Like, I think he treated all of us as partners, whether it was the clients, whether it was the creative team. I think he put faith in us, and he put faith in everyone, and whether it was the filmmakers that he worked with, and showed the way, sort of led on the front foot, and he showed everyone how to play, fearlessly. He gave us that sense of belonging, sense of pride in being part of the creative community. So I think thank you all so much for sharing these stories of Piyush. I think thank you all for, really enlightening the audience with Piyush's genius. It's such a, fantastic conversation. It's been a real privilege for me to have this conversation with you guys. I think I'll wrap up. We'll need to, have some mementos past, I think we have mementos for all of you. I'll invite Rafi on the stage to.
Thanks, Francis, for such a nice moderation. You did a lot of hard work and groundwork. It's amazing. Really, really nice. Thank you.
Francis was very excited to ask ഓരോ ചോദ്യങ്ങളും. We were very excited to hear the answers. നിങ്ങളും excited ആയിട്ട് ഓരോ ഉത്തരങ്ങൾ ഞങ്ങൾക്ക് പറഞ്ഞു തന്നു. So we have a special request to all four of you to hand over a memento to Francis together. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for our panel and Francis for carrying this session in memory of the greatest of all time, Piyush Pandey, sir. Now, I would like to invite Mr. Pramod Tevanur, Vice Chairman of SCMS, to join us on stage. And once again, all four of you will hand over a special memento to Pramod sir as a token of appreciation and love for SCMS Business School for this wonderful venue. Ladies and gentlemen, big round of applause for SCMS and our four panels. And now to hand over the mementos for the panel, I would like to invite Sujoy, IAM President, once again to join us on stage to give a memento to Mr. Rajiv Rao. അടുത്തായിട്ട് മെമെന്റോ നൽകുന്നതിന് വേണ്ടിയിട്ട് I would like to invite Chairman Pepper Awards K. Venugopal to hand over a memento to Mr. Prakash Nair. Now we would like to welcome KMA President Mr. K. Harikumar to join us on stage and give a memento to Mr. Kiran Anthony. Now K3 Estate President Mr. Raju Menon to join us on stage to hand over a memento to Mr. Suresh Eriat. എല്ലാവരും സ്റ്റേജിൽ എത്തിയ സ്ഥിതിക്ക് let's have a photo session. I would like to request Prakash Verma sir to join us on stage.
We have one last memento to give out, which is to RJ Rafi. He's actually, many of you might know him as an RJ, but he's also the creative head of Club FM. And he's actually a really big media personality in Kerala, and he really, he went out of his way to come here. So thanks to him, to Club FM, to Mathrubhumi for doing this for us. So I'd like to invite the panel to present a. Yes.
Thank you so much. Now we would like to welcome Mr. Venu from Pepper Trust to say a few words to us. Venu sirne ക്ഷണിക്കുന്നു. Vinay, Mr. Vinay from Pepper.
Hello friends. I don't think I need anything more to add because we had a real feast. We are all very happy and contented with the discussions and the deliberations of the real team of Piyush Pandey. Piyush Pandey, the legend, will always be remembered, celebrated in the advertising, in the world advertising. We would like to share one happy moment we had with him. In 2017, Piyush Pandey came to Cochin as the chief guest of Pepper Creative Awards. That was a real experience for us. 2 days he was there with us. We spent some real good time with him, real fun. And the students also, they had an opportunity to interact with him. So that was real fun. So this year, we are going to have the Pepper Creative Awards on December 5th. And we are going to dedicate this year's Pepper Award to Piyush Pandey. I think this will be the first creative award dedicated to the legend. And a very close friend of Piyush Pandey, associate of Piyush Pandey, I don't want to name him because he has the confirmation we are waiting. He will be the chief guest this year. So I would like to invite all of you to be there on 5th to witness Piyush Pandey's memory, legacy, and the Pepper Awards. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Vinay sir. Now I would like to welcome Jabbar Kallarikal, ex-president IAM, to speak to the gathering.
First of all, let me say thank you for all. Piyush, നമ്മളെ വിട്ടുപോയ നിമിഷം അത് ഷോക്കിംഗ് ആയിരുന്നു, എല്ലാവർക്കും അറിയാം. എല്ലാവർക്കും അതൊരു ഭയങ്കര ഒരു ഷോക്കിംഗ് മൊമെൻ്റ് ആയിരുന്നു. ആ മൊമെൻറ്റിൽ ആക്ച്വലി വെൻ ഐ സ്റ്റാർട്ടഡ് ഫിലിം മേക്കിംഗ് ഐ ഡിഡ്ന്റ് നോ പിയൂഷ് ആക്ച്വലി. നമ്മൾ ബ്ലാക്ക് ബോക്സ് ഒക്കെ ആയിരുന്നു നമ്മുടെ റെഫറൻസ്, പിന്നെ ലിറിൽ പോലുള്ള സിനിമകളൊക്കെ ആയിരുന്നു നമ്മുടെ റെഫറൻസ്. അതൊക്കെ വെച്ച് അങ്ങനെയുള്ള സിനിമകൾ ഫോളോ ചെയ്ത് ഫിലിം എടുത്ത് തുടങ്ങിയ ആളാണ് ഞാൻ. പിയൂഷിൻ്റെ ആക്ച്വലി ഫെവിക്കോൾ സിനിമയാണ് എൻ്റെ ലൈഫിൽ എന്നെ ഷോക്ക് ചെയ്ത സിനിമ. അവിടെ നിന്ന് പിന്നെ പിയൂഷിൻ്റെ വലിയൊരു ഫോളോവർ ആയിരുന്നു. പിയൂഷിൻ്റെ ബുക്ക് മുഴുവൻ ഇരുന്ന് വായിക്കാനൊക്കെ ഭാഗ്യമുണ്ടായി. പിയൂഷിൻ്റെ വിടവാങ്ങൽ എല്ലാവരെയും പോലെ തന്നെ എൻ്റെ ഉള്ളിലും, ഞാൻ ഒരു പ്രാവശ്യം കണ്ടിട്ടുള്ളൂ, IAയുടെ ഇവൻറ്റിന് വന്നപ്പോഴാണ് ഞാൻ പരിചയപ്പെടുന്നത്. ഹീ ഈസ് വെരി ഓപ്പൺ ഗൈ ആക്ച്വലി. മറ്റുള്ളവർ നമ്മൾ നമ്മൾ വളരെ ഭയപ്പാടോടും ബഹുമാനത്തോടും കാണുന്ന ഒരു വ്യക്തി, ഒരു കൂട്ടുകാരനെ പോലെ ചേർത്ത് പിടിച്ച് എൻ്റെ ഫോട്ടോ ഒക്കെ എടുത്തതാണ്, ചേർത്ത് പിടിച്ച് ഫോട്ടോ എടുക്കുന്ന, എന്നെ അറിഞ്ഞുകൂടെ, ആരാന്ന് പോലും അറിഞ്ഞുകൂടെ, ഫോട്ടോ എടുക്കാനും നിൽക്കാനും ഒക്കെ കാണിക്കുന്ന ഒരു സുഹൃത്തിനെ പോലെയാണ് പെരുമാറ്റം. അതേയുള്ള എൻ്റെ അനുഭവം. പക്ഷേ അദ്ദേഹത്തിൻ്റെ വിടവാങ്ങൽ വളരെ വലിയ ഷോക്ക് ഉണ്ടാക്കിയ അന്ന് ഈ ഇവൻറ്റിന് ഞാനാണ് ആദ്യം തോട്ട് സ്റ്റാർട്ട് ചെയ്തത്. ആദ്യമായിട്ട് വിളിച്ച് എല്ലാവരോടും സംസാരിക്കും. അത് സാധാരണ ഞങ്ങൾ ഇഷ്ടംപോലെ ഇവൻറ്റ് IAM നടത്തുന്നതാണ്. പക്ഷേ ഇത് ഈ കേരളത്തിലുള്ള അഡ്വർടൈസിങ്ങുമായിട്ട് ബന്ധപ്പെട്ടിട്ടുള്ള എല്ലാവരുടെയും കൂടെ ചേർന്നുള്ളൊരു സംഭവം മാറ്റണം എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ അത് രാജുവിനെ വിളിച്ചു, വിനയനെ വിളിച്ചു. അങ്ങനെ സംസാരിച്ച് തുടങ്ങിയിട്ടാണ് ഞങ്ങൾ ഡിസ്കഷൻ സ്റ്റാർട്ട് ചെയ്യുന്നതിൻ്റെ. അത് ഇത്രയും വളരെ വലിയൊരു പീയൂഷിൻ്റെ ഓർമ്മകളിൽ ഇത് നമുക്കറിയാവുന്ന പീയൂഷിനപ്പുറത്തേക്ക് വളരെ വളരെ അതിൻ്റെ ഒരു 100 ഇരട്ടി പീയൂഷിനെ അറിയാൻ പറ്റി. പീയൂഷിനെ ഓർമ്മകളിൽ നമുക്ക് ഒട്ടേറെ ചിരിക്കാൻ പറ്റി. ചിരിക്കുന്നതായിരുന്നു, എല്ലാവരുടെയും ഓരോ മൊമെൻറ്റും ചിരിപ്പിക്കുന്നതായിരുന്നു. അത് തന്നെയാണ് പീയൂഷിന് നമുക്ക് കൊടുക്കാവുന്ന ഏറ്റവും വലിയ ഇത് വിടവാങ്ങൽ മെസ്സേജ്. ആക്ച്വലി പീയൂഷ് ഇവിടെയുണ്ട്, എൻ്റെ ഉള്ളിലുണ്ട്, നമ്മുടെ എല്ലാവരുടെ ഉള്ളിലുണ്ട്. ഈസ് നോട്ട് ഔട്ട്. താങ്ക് യു വെരി മച്ച് ഫോർ ഓൾ came here and celebrated this moment. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jabbar Kalarikal. Now we would like to welcome representative from KMA to address the gathering, Mr. K. Harikumar.
Thank you very much. Thank you all the fellow sponsors for giving us a wonderful evening. I was a bit confused whether it was a tribute to Mr. Pandey or we were celebrating his life. Anyway, as Mr. Verma said, he never wanted to be mourned. He wanted the life to be celebrated, and we did exactly that. From whatever was described about him, about his personality, we understand one thing. He was one person who took Indian advertising to the streets of India. He enjoyed and he celebrated the color of India, the quirks of India, and the authenticity of India. He actually made us feel the smell of the Indian soil, and that itself is something great. So thank you all. Thank you very much for introducing the person, for introducing the multitude of his personality, because you told about how good an advertising creative person he was. You told us about how good an accounts manager he was. You told us how good a creative director he was, and how good a leader he was, and various sides of his personality. Thank you very much. It is an evening we all enjoyed, and KMA is proud to have associated with such a meeting. Thank you very much, and good night.
Thank you, sir. Now we would like to request Dr. Praveena K. from SCMS to deliver vote of thanks.
Good evening, everyone. There are some days wherein we go home with a light heart. So this is like a mixed emotion for all of us, being sad at the same time, being happy hearing all these legendary stories. And we usually, as known for our business school, we teach a lot of leadership concepts in the classes, quote a lot of case studies and the other things. But I'm sure those people who have been working have told how simple, how humble a leader has shown certain events to all of you. And all these stories which we have heard, I'm sure whenever I used to watch these Dairy Milk ads, it's always that out of our emotions, you feel tears in your eyes. You hear that music itself, there is some emotion that comes to our mind. It's not sad, or it's not, you understand the emotion that has created that particular ad. And I'm very happy that we could hear all these stories paying the tribute, as Harikumar sir was clearly mentioning. It's not just paying a tribute, but still we were all celebrating his legacy. And I'm sure when we say the word legend, this is what something which we mean. So on a formal note, I would like to extend my thanks to Mr. Prakash Verma, Mr. Rajiv, Mr. Prakash Nair, Mr. Kiran, Mr. Suresh, and the whole teams, the IAM, the KMA, the Pepper Trust, the K3 Association, our event partners, Ergo, and of course the SCMS group for having shared this whole concept, all the invited delegates, our students, my colleagues, my staff, and all of you. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us this evening. This was a very special evening for all of us, in memory of the greatest of all time, Piyush Pandey. Piyush, not out. Thank you so much. Also, we have a very special മെമ്മറി ബോർഡ് കെപ്റ്റ് ഔട്ട്സൈഡ്. നമുക്ക് പീയൂഷ് പാണ്ഡെ സാറിനെ കുറിച്ച് എഴുതാനുള്ള ഒരു 1 ലൈൻ, ഇവിടുന്ന് കിട്ടിയ ഒരു 1 ലൈൻ, നമുക്ക് പറയാനുള്ളത് എന്തും ആ ബോർഡിൽ എഴുതണം എന്ന് ഒരു സ്പെഷ്യൽ റിക്വസ്റ്റ് ഉണ്ട്. പ്ലീസ് ഫീൽ ഫ്രീ ടു റൈറ്റ് ഓൺ ദ ബോർഡ്. We have a final video to play as a tribute to the legend. One last video. Let's have the AV. It's called The Man of Love and Laughter.
I had been warned.
You know, I don't question him too much.
I was not allowed to ride a bike on a road. I didn't sign my first contract when I played for India either.
I've never been scared of crying. If something moves you,
Correct.
you don't want to cry. You don't have an agenda of crying. But tears come down your cheeks. How can you control your emotion?
Are you okay? You need a tissue?
No, I'm okay. You know, you're like my branches. I'm the trunk. Every day you'll grow away from me. You will change. And I love you to change. But then I'm the soul. I'll hold you together. So love you all.